Okay. A little late, but the November 12th, 2025 meeting of Municipal Code Enforcement Board is now called to order. Our next meeting will be December 10th. Everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Before we get started, I want to remind the board that once we do get started, no side conversations. Everything has to be on the record, okay? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is charged with conducting hearings to determine whether an alleged violation of the city code has occurred. Decisions made by this quasi-judicial board will be based on the evidence and facts presented this evening. Our meetings are conducted in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order, and each case will begin with the city presenting its evidence of the alleged violation. The respondent will then present his or her case. Both parties will have an opportunity to cross-examine all witnesses. The board members may question any witness. Comments by both parties must be relevant to the case. Persons wishing to speak will be given an opportunity to do so by the chair and must address the board from the podium after giving their name and address. Upon request, copies of materials submitted by staff are available for review. Board members are reminded to obtain permission to speak from the chair, and questions of the city should be directed to the attorney for the city. At this time, I'll ask all persons who expect to give testimony tonight to please stand and be sworn in by the clerk.
Please raise your right hand and answer after I swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will provide the board tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask all board members if they had any ex parte communications regarding any matters coming before the Code Enforcement Board this evening. If you've had verbal communications, please disclose the sum and substance of the communications, when and where the communications occurred, and with whom it occurred. If you received any written communications, please disclose the nature of the communications and provide a copy to the city clerk to be filed in the record. Starting at this end.
I had none.
I've had none.
Had none?
I've had none.
I've had none.
Very good, thank you. Minutes of meetings. If there are no edits or changes to the meetings of October 8th, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Okay. As per our usual, we will be taking cases out of order. Our first case will be under old business, unfinished business. It's case number 25-2911. Our second case will also be under unfinished, 25-2841. Our third case is also under old unfinished business, 25-2866. Our fourth case.
Slow down. Okay.
All right, so 2911.
Yep.
2841, 2866.
Got it. Okay. Thanks.
And then our fourth case will be 2999 on the first page.
Okay.
Our fifth case will be 500072, also on the first page.
Oh.
And then we'll clean up the rest.
Quick question, Chair. You have as number one, 25-911.
Mm-hmm.
Same property is.
Mike,
also-
your mic's not on.
Sorry. You have as the first case 25-2911 for 6125 Liberty Avenue. I also want to note that that is the sixth case, that same property is the sixth case on,
Yeah. I was going to ask about that.
It's the sixth case under new business?
Yes. Yep. The 404.
Oh, yeah.
4048. Same address.
So 2420? That case 25-2420?
No,
25-40.
4048.
Oh, 4048.
Yeah. So we probably
Last case on.
should do those together then, I guess.
Yep.
In your cases.
Yeah, he's got it.
Okay, so would you like to do them both at the same time?
Well, I think we should do one right after the other. I mean, they're here.
Okay, we can do that. So we'll do
That'll be two.
1A will be 2911, and 1B will be 4048. Does that work?
That works.
Thank you, I didn't put the two together. All right, let's get started on 1A. Hang on, we have a late arrival. Which case are you here for, sir?
This is for River Park.
Do you have a number?
What's the address?
That is case number 252930.
2930,
That's old business.
Is that on,
under old
that's the,
business.
that's on
business.
unfinished
Okay,
business.
so that'll be,
Down the list.
that'll be our sixth one.
Number
That'll be number 6, guys, okay?
Yep.
All right, we're gonna need to get you sworn in. Okay, so would you please stand? You can swear him in.
Please raise your right hand and answer in the affirmative. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will provide the board tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Affirmative?
Yeah, I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, on to case 1A, thank you.
Case number 25. Case number 25-2911, City versus Eddie Barbero Mestra, for the property located at 6125 Liberty Avenue. The deadline for the compliance was November 12th, 2025. Fine of $25 per day beginning November 13th, 2025. Violation, Section 8-28A1, permits app required. Deadline for compliance is midnight tonight.
Okay. Since this is unfinished business, you can come up and give us an update.
Hi, yes, Mr. Pogorlich and the rest of the board. My name is Karina Fuller. I represent Eddie Mestre and the property located at 6125. I was present before the board back on October 8th, where we conceded to the violation, and I understand that the board gave us 30 days to remedy it. I do want to advise that this particular violation is due to the driveway. That's my understanding. On October 10th, we received the survey because in order to submit the application for the driveway, we had to get a survey just to make sure that the driveway, what we wanted to do with the driveway was not going to be more than 25% of the total property. We got the survey on October 10th. After that, my client had attempted to turn in plans with the survey for the driveway. At that time, he was notified that because there is a stop work order for other issues with the property, he couldn't submit the plans for the driveway at that time unless he submitted all the plans for everything. So then thereafter, we then met with the general contractor who is helping us remedy the other violations, purported violations that has nothing to do with this particular driveway issue. And then they came a second time, by they, my client, and the general contractor, with all of the plans and the applications for the permit. It was at that time they were informed that they couldn't accept it unless they did an inspection with, I believe, the main inspector. I believe it was that gentleman over there. I wasn't present. This is what my client has informed me, and he's here, and he doesn't speak English, so I swore to basically tell you all everything that I am aware of. I believe after that second time of trying to submit not only the plans for the driveway but for other violations, my client and the general contractor were informed that the main guy needed to look inside of the home and the property. It's my understanding that that inspection occurred. And after that inspection occurred, I believe this gentleman over here, and I forget your name, I'm so sorry. Dallas informed the general contractor of certain other things he needed to comply with as it related to the plans, because my client also had to pay an architect to get some plans done. The general contractor, along with my client, has been working with the architect. However, the architect had a family issue, but there's a lot of things, there's so many moving pieces that's not in my control and not in my client's control. We're working with a
Let me see
general.
if I can summarize this for you.
Okay.
So this particular case is about just the driveway.
Correct.
However, there are other mitigating circumstances that have prevented you from getting a permit for the driveway, which is
Correct.
probably going to come to light in the next case.
Correct.
So-
So basically, we're simply asking for another extension before fines are imposed on the driveway issue for many reasons. We are in good faith. I want from a humane perspective on this, it's very expensive for my client to get the architect, the general contractor, and then now to have to endure $25 fines per day. It's just very taxing. Times are tough. And so we're simply asking for an extension before fines are imposed as to the driveway issue, simply because we can't remedy the driveway unless everything else is remedied. And there's other bigger problems than the driveway, so.
So, Ernie, let me ask you a question. I know we haven't heard the other case yet, but is there a way to consolidate all this?
I was gonna ask this.
Well, I don't think we can consolidate them, because one of the cases was heard last month, and then we have this one today. But if you want to hold on making a decision on this continuance request and go ahead and hear the other case, and that way you kind of have the full
Okay, we'll do that.
story.
So
and then
we're gonna
make sure you do two motions.
reserve judgment on this particular case until after we rule on the next case, and at that time we'll be able to kind of make it all work. Okay?
Thank you. Do you want me to have another?
Yeah, have a seat, and then because the code enforcement officer is going to come up next. So I need a motion to hold this after we hear the next case, basically.
In case number 25-2911, I make a motion to hold until we hear the additional case.
Name it. 25-4048.
You're right. Well, I'm holding the first until we hear the second. So we're holding case 25-2911 until we hear case 25-4048.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Okay, on to case 1B, case number 254048.
Yep. Good evening, I'm Officer Bat with Code Compliance. This case this evening was initiated by Officer Smith due to a complaint through Community Development on October 17, 2025.
Before you go on, can we
Yeah.
determine whether or not all the stuff's been submitted and all that good
Yeah.
stuff?
Excuse me. Case number 25-4048 to City versus Eddie Fabero Mestra for the property located at 6125 Liberty Avenue. This case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 8-28A1 permits app required. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Danielle Batt. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Great, thank you. Okay, floor is yours.
Again, Officer Bat with Code Compliance. This case this evening was initiated by Officer Smith due to a complaint through Community Development on October 17, 2025 for work without a permit. Notice of violation was prepared, posted to the property, requested, posted to City Hall electronic board, and sent both certified mail and regular mail to the address of record on October 17, 2025. The compliance date for this case was set for October 23, 2025, and was not in compliance on or by this date. Notice of hearing was prepared, posted to the property, requested to post to City Hall electronic board for the 10-day requirement, and sent both certified mail and regular mail to the address of record on October 30th for tonight's hearing. As of Monday, November 10th, 2025, records still show the property is still not in compliance. At this time, I ask permission to present evidence showing to bring this property into full compliance. The property would need to be restored to the original approved site plan from 2007, I apologize, and a ruling, and I would like to refer any questions to the city building official, Dallas Voss.
Okay, so I have a question. She mentioned that the property needs to be brought back to the original site plan, which is dated 2007, is that correct? And give us a general nature of what needs to be done to bring it back to 2007?
So the original exhibit, or the exhibits that are being looked through, there's actually a site plan from 2007, the only site plan that was ever approved.
Okay.
In 2024, there was an alleged approved site plan, but it was never approved to move forward prior to purchase. At that point in time, that was when the stop work orders got submitted. Well, those submitted work order, or that stop work order that was submitted, was used as a permit, but wasn't actual permit, because it was actually a stop work order, to change the Hillsborough County property appraiser's site. So the property that we're actually speaking about is meant to be a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, not a 4-bedroom, 3-bath.
Okay.
And the exhibits, once gone through, actually show a photo of the approved 2000 site plan. Google photo showing the carport was enclosed prior to March 2011. A copy of the proposed site plan, and I put red markings on showing the differences. The changes made. A copy of the proposed site plan prior to that with the writing on it from the proposal. And a copy of the Hillsborough County property appraisers, as well as a copy of the stop work order number, so it all matches the link.
Can we get those put up on the screen? Okay.
Dallas
On the
House.
screen now, is that the residence
Yes.
as it stands today?
This was taking,
There's no date on it, so,
this one was taken about 2 months ago.
okay.
This one here is more recent.
Yeah, that one says,
October
October
30th.
30th.
okay. Any other questions? Rod?
Yes, for Dallas. This photo in front of me, it's dated 2007. I just wanted to be clear on that. It's a site plan. It says approved site plan. This is the approved site plan with the, in 2007.
2007.
But right, currently, we have different layout inside.
Inside and
More
out.
bedrooms, more, it's completely remodeled inside?
I haven't considered, I'll go through it with you.
Maybe that's better.
Did we get the other? The first page is the 2007. This is the floor plan of what the house looked like. The third page, if you come to this, the red line you'll see across the back of the building. The carport was enclosed for master bedroom, as well as an addition on the back of the home was put in place. That was never permitted.
Okay.
But when was that completed, in 2024 or
No, 2024, there was renovation work going on at the home
without permit?
without permits, and they got cited. So when
One
they
at a time, yeah. You'll get your opportunity to this question. Let him finish first.
So it was cited for work without a permit. When we did the research, now we found out the carport was enclosed, the addition on the rear of the home was put on. So in order to bring it into compliance, we're gonna have to have permits and after-fact engineer reports or something to cover all the work that is done at the home at this time.
Okay.
Because there's no permits for any additions or
So
anything
there was work done prior to
prior to
2024
2024.
that wasn't permitted.
It was not permitted.
Then we have work that was done in 2024 that was started that wasn't permitted. And in order to bring everything into compliance, you need some sort of engineer's report
Correct.
to tie it all together.
Tie it all back together.
Yes, sir.
But I do want to point out, it was not this property owner that did the changes back.
The original changes, yeah.
The original changes.
Yeah.
They were done,
I just want to make sure that's clear that
it was done prior ownership.
1 year?
I just want to clarify that my client purchased a property in June of 2025, and he purchased it as is. So all of this work that was done without a
Dave.
permit.
Excuse me,
She's got to step up to the mic.
she's got to,
Yeah.
if you're allowing her to speak, she needs to come to the podium.
I just want to clarify that my client purchased a property in June of 2025, and he purchased a property as is. So he basically inherited a property that was already in violation of city code. So before I ask further questions, I just wanted to make that
Oh,
clear.
that's good to know.
Okay.
Like,
But bottom line is, in order to bring the property into compliance, you need some sort of documentation that ties whatever was done before he purchased it,
it's a permit application for all the work that's been done.
right? Whether it's,
After the fact, it's an after the fact,
right, but doesn't matter whether it was done,
whomever.
whoever did
prior
it,
to-
whenever they did it, it all
He's-
needs to get permitted.
With his purchasing the home as is, he's now basically assumed the clearing of everything else.
Gotcha. Any other questions?
I
Go ahead,
think
Bill.
so. So,
If I
Oh,
can,
go
I
ahead.
think we got some, I want to make sure it's clear for the record. The violations we're here on, that we originally were here on, have not even been really addressed yet by Dallas, which is all the work that was done on the interior. What we're trying to say is, as we were looking at this, we saw, oh, wait a minute, there were additions that were never permitted before this gentleman, but when they do the permits, they're gonna have to
Take care of all of
take
it.
care of all that, but we still have, what they're really here on is all the changes that have been made in the last 6 months or so.
And what were those?
They've installed, removed windows, put doors in those places, and created additional living space. We have 2 bedrooms that were converted to separate space. They're not part of the main home. You have to go outside to get back into the main part of the house. So it's being used, I don't know if it's an Airbnb or what have you, but that's what caught it. They did air conditioning systems, plumbing, electrical work, as well as building work and structural work on the home without permits.
Okay, but the bottom line is, something has to be documented to tie everything together,
Tie it all together.
whether it was
by
done
application.
before his purchase or after the purchase, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And something to take note of, by doing that, they've created
I guess you can stay there, go ahead.
thank you, a multifamily home in a single-family zoned area, which is another issue that's gonna have to be resolved by fixing the renovations that were performed in the home.
so that's kind of what I was,
Go ahead.
so the house as it stands right now won't get what you're saying is it won't get an approved site plan just because it's in violation of whatever
It's
the
considered
code-
now as a multifamily versus a single-family residence.
okay. So that's why you're saying that they have to revert back to the 2007 site plan in order to be in compliance.
When I met with the owner as well as a GC on site, he was saying he would be opening up doorways that were closed off, would be reopened, so it would be one floor space. And open, all access to everywhere in the home would be done from interior. We haven't received plans because he needs structural details for what they have completed with the doors and everything to be added to the plans.
So bottom line is the house has to go back to,
Either go back to where we were, go back to where it was, or get all the paperwork to put it to where it is currently. But the multifamily thing is what's gonna hold it up with zoning.
well, that's what I'm saying, it can't be a multifamily if it's
Correct.
because of the zoning.
The zoning in the area.
I guess multifamily just means that, I mean, I guess he could live there. I mean, one family could live there, right? But I guess that's what you were trying to.
Well, I just wanted to clarify what you're saying is, again, with the 2007 site plan we have, work was done without permits in the last 6 months. So they're working on getting those permits. What's kind of been added on here now is not really a part of this case, but making them aware, gee, you also have this other work that was done years ago, so when you're getting the permit work done now, you're gonna have to include that stuff too, or take those additions out, one of the two. Yeah, I just wanna make sure, they don't, we're not saying you have to take it back to the 2007 site plan. You're gonna have to get permits for it, or you're gonna have to remove the stuff. that
It's
was
either take it back to 2007 or get permits for everything.
Yes.
But how does the zone, how does, if it, well, okay, never.
That's a different violation.
violation,
If they don't make the changes and bring it back to a single-family home and get the permits for all that, then there's going to be a subsequent violation for a zoning violation of having multifamily in a single family.
Were the changes that made it from single-family to multifamily made in the last 6 months?
Yes.
Rod?
Yes. Dallas, how long do you think their process would take? And is it doable, right?
It's
From
doable.
what you-
Well, and keep in mind, it's not, the construction is not the violation. They have to get the permit.
No, I know, but it's gonna require architectural plans, engineers to certify whatever been done is done sound.
Once it's done with that, and everything's submitted, it'll come, it can move quickly. Because at that point, the engineer of record that does that report is one that assumes our responsibility, so it's a fairly quick process to get that closed out and close it. With the stop work order being placed on the home for the work being done, no permits can be issued for the driveway or anything until that stop work order is satisfied. That's what's holding the driveway up.
Go ahead.
Given the scope of the work that's been done since 2007, would they need to get additional permits to undo that work?
We can do it, since we're basically doing it after the fact on this, it can all get tied into one set of permits instead of doing two.
But the thing is that they're gonna have to get an inspection regardless, because they're gonna undo pretty significant work to the house, so there's no,
Or, well, you can get a forensic engineer, they can come in and do the research, do the checking of everything, and basically certify that it's all in compliance with codes at that time.
so I guess my question is then that they're kind of in a catch-22, right? They can't really take it back to 2007 unless they get engineers to come in and inspect, and they can't bring it current unless they get an engineer to come in and inspect, so.
At this point, as far as the owner would be, the best probably would be is to a current condition versus demoing out the half of the house and going back to it, but that's the owner's decision.
That was gonna be like, what's the intent? Do they wanna keep it as a multifamily home, or do they wanna keep it as a single family?
It doesn't matter to us, as long as they, either,
Zone.
it doesn't matter. That's not, the appropriate, it's not appropriate. I mean, it's their decision on what they want to do, and there are methodologies in place to do whatever they want to do. As long as they follow those methodologies and get the right permits, it doesn't matter.
Well, no, but if we know what their intent is, then we can guide them the right way.
Oh, that's not, our job isn't to guide them, that's Dallas's
Well,
job.
right, but still.
One more.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically what we're looking at is we're not gonna look at the permits for the stuff that's happened in the last 6 months until the rest of the house is brought current, but that's all gonna get bundled together and
It all
they
gets
can,
bundled up as one set, and that would clear the stop work orders and the whole, everything at that time.
okay. And your estimation, I mean, what kind of timeline would they be looking at to get that amount of, like, say they wanted to bring it current, like they just wanted to have an engineer come out and certify everything that's been done and get all the permits to make all of that stuff kosher. I mean, are we looking at like 6 months, or are we looking at like 2 weeks? I mean,
Depending upon the engineer you get, some of them, they're busy, so it's a matter of, well, they're dealing with an architect already, the architect can certify it also.
okay.
They may be having him come out and do a walkthrough and write the letters and
I think what he's asking is, can that get done in the next 30 days?
probably not in 30 days.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately what I'm getting after is that if we're gonna grant an extension, I want it to be, I don't want it to be dumb. Like, you got 30 days to do a year's worth of work, sounds
We
ridiculous.
got the
This
holidays
is just
coming
for
up.
the permits, right? Not
Yeah,
the-
this is,
not the
well, yeah,
work.
but he's got to have, it's not just a matter of submitting drawings. They need a forensic engineer to come in and certify that what was done
Was done
can
right.
stay.
Right.
So that's really probably what the bigger piece is.
Looking at this time of the year, you're probably looking 60 to 90 days where they can get it together to get it in. With the holidays and all coming up, I can see that.
And does that,
Hang on, on the end, go ahead.
does that include time for permits and inspections and everything else?
Because once it's submitted with the reports, it's a fairly quick process on our side to get it taken care of.
Rod,
Yes, I have a question for the lady over here. Yes.
you gotta, step up, answer his question, then you can ask yours.
It's just a quick question. Do you think 60 days you will remedy all what's going on?
Well, it's not remedy, it's
Yep.
permits.
Permits.
They gotta get the.
But in
Yes.
order to submit the permits, we need updated plans from the architect, we need an engineer, and so that's the holdup. We have been here, well, my client, and the GC has been here twice here in this building in the last 30 days since the last hearing to try to submit plans. After the second attempt, they informed, whoever the office staff was, informed the GC and my client that Dallas needed to walk in to the house. Dallas was invited into the house. Do you recall what date
Yeah.
that was?
Not top of the head, it's been the last couple of weeks.
At least in the last 2 weeks.
2 weeks I was there.
Okay. And then upon your review, you were able to look at the plans that they proposed by the architect, correct?
Correct, and there's information that's missing. that
Okay.
They're gonna go get taken care of.
So, and then according to Dallas's inspection and then him reviewing the plans that they had at that time by the architect, there was additional items that my client needed. At that point, that's when the GC contacted the architect, and now we're just waiting for the architect to fix or add what Dallas said needed to be added. And then now, did you inform the GC that they needed an engineer?
We just found this out today, doing the research today.
This is news to me. So when I got all
Yeah,
this,
is new today.
I got all this. The GC doesn't even know about this. The GC is the one who's spearheading all of this, and I'm just the messenger showing up here today. I also just wanted to put here, I understand that my client did work without a permit. We have been here, I've been in constant communications with Mr. Mueller. I've met with this gentleman. We're trying to do the right thing. However, I don't think it's fair that my client is also having to do work on a house that was done, that he purchased the house in June of 2025 for work that was previously done without a permit as well. And so I want all y'all to consider that this is very expensive. I understand, if he did the right thing from the very beginning, it wouldn't have been that expensive. But unfortunately, here we are, we're trying to do the right thing, and getting, as easy it is to say loosely, we gotta get a forensic engineer, we gotta get an architect, we gotta get a GC, all of that costs a lot of money. The holidays are coming up, so I'm just simply asking for an extension. I believe that y'all are willing to give the extension, but also be considerate of that regard as well.
Okay. Are there anybody else in the audience that has anything to say on this particular case?
Anything else that I'm missing?
On this particular case? Okay.
And again, Mr. Chair, it has to be, they have to be
Yeah, it has
able to talk about,
Yes, understood. And they have 3 minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay. State your name and address, please.
Sandra Logston, 6121 Liberty Avenue, and I've been living there for 32 years, and it's been a wonderful neighborhood, but now we have, and this is all the permits, because we're now living with a motel in our neighborhood, because there are exterior doors, and all of that work's been done since June. And there are cars, several cars there, during the weekend especially, so no one seems to be checking on it during the weekend. But there are separate outdoor doors with porch lights next to them for people to go into those areas of the house. And evidently there was a lot of electrical and plumbing work done, so that would be part of the permitting issue, I suppose. But, it is a single-family neighborhood, and we have a motel there. And that's what we're not happy about.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay.
I've got another quick question, Dave, for Dallas. Sorry. You mentioned earlier that, I'm sorry, one of you guys mentioned earlier that it's now a multi-family house and and it's in a zone for single.
Single-family, correct.
Is that part of this?
If they want to keep it as a multifamily, yeah, they'd have to go through a rezoning of the property and all of that process, which hasn't
Oh, okay.
started. But if they're gonna keep it as a single family with opening the rooms back up, then the multi would go away.
I got you.
I could advise.
No, hang on, Brian.
Is it, I guess, within city code to continue using it as a multifamily until then? Or would it have to be like?
There's stop work orders already.
Yeah, well, it's not stop work, but would we?
People living there.
Yeah, correct. If people are living there and if it's going on, would that have to be stopped as well?
don't know the answer to that.
I mean, like,
They
taken
are,
out?
the bottom line is, no, they can't use it as multifamily,
Okay.
dwelling
So-
at this time. It's the
So
wrong
what-
zoning.
So what can this, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I'm that,
So what is the city's next step? I mean, we got neighbors here that are here complaining about the problem, and what is the city, what's their
Right
next?
now, the case in front of you has to do with the permits.
Right.
And it has been indicated that they plan on getting rid of those separate little units and again, put it back to being one single-family home. That's the plan, and that's what their permits are going to reflect, I believe, so.
Okay,
Is
so,
that the-
but I guess the question is, does the stop work order it stops the construction work? Does it also stop the use as a multifamily?
So we need,
No,
probably need the,
it will not, but that may be that'll probably be a new case that'll be brought forward if they continue using it as a multifamily.
Okay.
We were under the impression they were going to stop doing that.
Okay.
But if they do not, then there'll be another
be another
case
case.
brought for a zoning violation.
representative.
No, because that's not what's,
No, I just meant the intent, what are their, I mean, we got neighbors here that
I
are
guess,
complaining.
I mean, she's gonna come
I
up.
just, yeah,
The intent is not for multifamily. The intent is to remain it as a single family. I believe that the plans that were previously shown to Dallas show a single family, not multi-unit. The one that the GC,
still had still had 10 spaces that weren't all opened up.
the one that the GC plan
Yeah.
showed, so it was still for
So I told
multifamily?
them, I said, you have to open 2 doors, there was a small hallway, there were doors there.
Okay.
They had been, it's closed off as a closet now.
Okay.
So you can
Okay,
open it
so
back.
that's another discussion.
I said, we can discuss.
Yeah, but,
My understanding, the intent was to be a single family, so.
okay, but is he going to cease from here, from tonight forward? Is he gonna, whatever tenants he has there, are they gonna continue to stay there? Or,
I haven't had that conversation with my.
well, you should have that conversation.
that's my question, thank you.
Rod?
Your
That has been
question
one
is
of the,
good, but, I'm sorry.
That's been one of the bigger issues, and I get daily phone calls from neighbors, and rightfully so, that there is multiple people coming in and going out of the home when it's supposed to be a single-family neighborhood. And we've had the discussions in the past, that was supposed to have stopped, but from the neighbors are telling us that that's continuing.
Go ahead, Rod.
Yes, so currently, that's a good question for Jack. Currently, we have people living there, not the owner. It's not the owner.
Correct. Well, I can't say the owner's living there, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But there are other tenants coming and going. We see different cars all the time, different people coming and going. It's still open for business. As recently as a couple days ago, anyway.
Okay.
So what is the city prepared to do about that? I mean, is there just for the benefit of the people that came here to
We're going one step at a time. So right now, we're working on the stop work orders. We're trying to go about this logically to make sure that we don't get, there's so many violations and different things going on. We have to make sure things going in a logical order. The next step will be to look at the zoning violations if things don't change.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I will make a motion.
One second. Did you have anything else you wanted to address the board on before they go into deliberations and make a ruling? You get the last word.
Well, the zoning issue.
Come on up.
We're not here for the zoning issue, so there's been a lot that's just been thrown at me today. We're here for we're requesting a continuance on the driveway, and then now we have the new violation for the permit. So we're respectfully requesting, in light of everything that you've heard, for what's here on the agenda today for an extension of time. That's all.
All right? Okay. Motion.
In case number 254048, I move that the city,
Do we have to include both?
Don't you have to do the first one?
No, well,
no, that's
I
going to be.
recommend we
No,
do
let's-
this
let's
one,
finish-
then
let's
you'll
do
know
one-
what
we'll
your
do this
deadline
case,
is, and then
and
you know
then-
what to continue
Okay.
to.
Go back to that and
Yep, makes sense.
I was thinking the same thing, and I like had deja vu about that exact conversation happening.
That's why I asked.
Deja vu all over again.
All right, in case number 254048, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence, the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exist on the property located at 6125 Liberty Avenue. The violation is 8-28 subsection A subsection 1. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from code enforcement officers, along with any evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violation be corrected on or before January 14th, 2026. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violations continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $50 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion?
Yes.
Go.
I was gearing towards, because it's a complex situation, I was gearing towards, as, I don't know who mentioned, the holidays, going through Christmas and New Year. You're talking, even though we're looking at 60 days, I was thinking February.
Well, let's,
I don't know,
you
just
can always come
after-
back and ask for an extension.
Of course, I know that, but it's just, to get it over with, I think it'll need that much time.
Let's leave
No,
it.
but whenever neighbors are complaining,
We want to keep the ball moving forward.
I don't think the intention is going to be renting it anymore.
We'll see.
We'll see, hopefully.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays? Motion carries. So you mentioned that he doesn't speak English. Does he understand English?
No.
Okay, so would you please explain to him that he has been found in violation for this particular case? He has 60 days to bring the property into compliance, or a fine of $50 per day will begin to accrue. Okay, and you will certify as his legal representation that he understands what we just said?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, on to case 1A.
well, do we have to?
Now, all we have to do on 1A is
Extension 60.
make a motion to either extend it because of what we just heard on 1A, or not extend it. Up to you guys.
Yeah, and I'll make a motion on that,
ahead.
case number 25-2911, to extend until it was January, we'll continue them together, January 14th,
Of
2026.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays? Motion carries. Okay, so tell him now the driveway issue needs to be rectified at the same time as everything else. Okay, and so we're done, except a word of caution, if he still wants to keep tenants there, he's going to face another violation. So, thank you. You're welcome to stay, or you can go, whatever, please. Thank you. All right, on to case number 2.
Case number 25-2841, City versus Terrace Oaks,
Ma'am, you can have a seat. We'll call you up when
HOA
you're ready.
Incorporated,
Thank you.
in care of West Coast Management and Realty Incorporated, for the property located at 10325 Councils Way. The deadline for compliance was November 12th, 2025. Fine of $25 per day will begin November 13th, 2025. Violations, Section 12-901, pools, duty to maintain. Deadline for compliance is midnight tonight.
Do we know whether or not the property is currently in or out of compliance?
It's not yet in compliance,
Not yet, okay.
but
And I assume the respondent is here to tell us about that. You can come on up now. Name and address, please.
Hi, I'm Judy Brown. My address is 10324 Council's Way. And I am the president of the HOA in that community. And the pool company, we're working on getting the pool up to date. But the pool company that we were dealing with, they just stopped coming. So we've been, as a matter of fact, I had a couple of people come out this week to come out and give us some bid on getting the pool up and running.
So you had somebody, but they stopped showing up.
Yes.
Has any work at all been done?
Yes, a couple of, probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was clear. And then because they just stopped coming, it went back into not being operable. It's not. But we are definitely working on it, trying to get
Any
someone.
other questions?
Yeah, I guess what is it that needs to be done in order for the pool to be, to comply with this violation?
The person that came out, that I had come out yesterday, that gave me a bid, that looked at it. He said it just need to be shocked. I guess it need to be the, yeah.
So there's no pool equipment that needs to be replaced or anything?
No, we had all that replaced.
Okay.
We had the electric replaced and the filters replaced. We just need to get a company out there to maintain it.
And so I assume you're here to ask for an extension?
Yes, please.
What's your pleasure, guys? Rod?
I just have one question. So everything was done, the pool is ready, just that some company to come and just maintain it?
Yes.
And do you think in 30 days you can locate one, get one or get it going?
We're trying. I placed a bid. I'm just waiting on them to send their bid in because I had another company come out last week to get their price. They gave us a price, and I'm waiting on this company that just came out yesterday to get his price, and we're gonna make a decision from there to see which company we want to go with.
But what is your internal process once you get all the bids? You have to wait for a board meeting to approve it, or do you approve it, or how's that work?
I can approve it, based on what they're gonna be charging, yes. But we have a board meeting coming up on November 20th.
Okay.
So we can,
And you'll have all the bids by then?
hopefully, yes, yes.
I just need a motion, one way or the other.
I got one more. It just needs to be shocked?
That's what he told me, the guy told me yesterday. He said, it looks like it just needs to be shocked.
And the reason you can't get it shocked is because you're waiting to set up basically a subscription service or
To get someone to come out there to service it.
on a regular basis.
Right.
So you're waiting on a maintenance contract, but in the meantime, is it possible to get somebody to come out there and do the shock? Like pinch a penny or something?
We can ask, I don't know. I can check with our management company to see if they can contact somebody.
It's gonna start getting a little warmer after next week and bugs, right? So if the pool is growing algae and all it needs is to be shocked,
Chemicals.
that takes about half an hour to do, so.
That's what I've been told.
Yep.
So waiting on a maintenance contract while it sits and kind of,
And keep in mind, you don't have to extend it 30 days. You can extend it a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever your pleasure.
Yeah, it'll most likely after shock, probably have to be vacuumed and cleaned because all that algae.
Yeah, it falls down.
Bottom, so.
yeah,
Not
we're
just
still,
Throwing some chemicals in it, but.
that's a couple of hours at
Not
most.
much more than that.
Right, but yeah, that's like a couple of hours at most work.
Yeah.
It's not.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah. In case number 252841.
No,
Can I-
2529, oh, wait a minute.
No, it is
You're right, I'm sorry.
Okay, all right, yeah, sorry, it was because, all right, let me start over.
ahead.
In case number 252841, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following by,
We're on
We're
unfinished
just
business.
extending.
shoot.
All you gotta do is extend it or not.
Motion to extend.
I move that we grant an extension of 2 weeks, which should post past the next board meeting, right, so November 20th?
Give me a date certain.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have November calendar up here.
We don't,
All right,
honestly, you just said December 1.
yeah, let's just say December 1st. That's basically the same
December
thing.
1st.
Yes, of 2025.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Rod?
Let's just keep it consistent with, why 2 weeks? Just let's do it 10th. I know 2 weeks but
tell you why.
probably they'll be done.
I'll tell you why, because I don't,
We're talking about a few days till our other meeting. Hopefully she'll be done and approved and all that.
because, and now this is purely my opinion, but it's also based on the gravity of the situation. The pool sat in disrepair for a while, it got fixed, and then it went back into disrepair to what is fair is basic maintenance, not heavy-duty maintenance. To shock a pool and to maintain it, I think anybody in here that owns a pool has to do that on a regular basis if it gets dirty. That's why. I'd like to see it done, and I don't personally want to wait on HOA bureaucracy to make sure it gets shocked. I understand the need for a maintenance contract, but at the same time, this is a very simple thing to do that requires very little overhead to do it. That's why.
I would agree. I would say if they have, a handyman or a guy who works for the HOA, that's something they should,
Going by some.
yeah,
No, we don't have a handyman.
no.
We just have a pool maintenance company.
No, the thing is, Brian, what I'm trying to say, she would not have a chance to come back and tell us what happened. That's why I gear towards the 10th of December.
At that point,
Again, we're going on to holidays. A lot of people take off. Companies don't work. Some of them don't work. I'm trying to have her a little bit more comfortable. She's the home association president, so, she showed up. She's telling us the case. It's just, that's my personal opinion, and I'd like to see it done. It's just a few days. You're talking December 1st till the 10th. You're talking 9 more days.
to be fair,
be
the only
fair.
reason I said December 1st is because I don't have the November calendar in front of me.
What is it?
So it was just easier math-wise. But I would say that, I understand, we're not going to be able to meet, but I don't think this is something that warrants more discussion, shock the pool. I mean, it's a very straightforward thing to do and to get it cleaned up. It's not a matter of like getting permits or getting it reopened or revisiting the conversation or, contractors coming and going like they do. It's a matter of just do it.
And to be fair, the 2 weeks would have been basically the day before Thanksgiving.
Ah, well, there you go.
It's buying a couple gallons of chemicals and
And
Okay, that's enough. Everybody's made their point.
Motion, we got the
We
second.
got a motion, we got a second.
I have a point of order. Can I ask who was the second, please? Okay, thank you.
Okay. We have a motion with a second. All those in favor? Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Okay, so you have until December 1st, that's your extension, to bring the pool into compliance. Okay? Good luck. Thank you.
Okay, but I have the second issue also, the
Okay.
second case,
You do.
Oh,
the third case.
Yep,
Okay.
there we go, same.
All right, let her read the case, and then we'll get to you, okay?
Case number 25-2866, City versus Terrace Oaks Homeowners Association Incorporated in care of West Coast Management and Realty Incorporated for the property located at 10325 Councils Way. The deadline for compliance is November 12th, 2025. Fine of $50 per day beginning November 13th, 2025. Violations, Section 12-620, Stormwater Discharge Control, and Section 12-619E, Stormwater Enforcement and Legal. Deadline for compliance is midnight tonight.
I assume the property is not in compliance.
It is not, but they are working towards it. Our engineer has been working with a contractor of theirs, and the communication has been as recently as 2 p.m. today. So they are working that direction. It's a complicated project.
Okay. Do you want to add anything?
No, that's basically what is happening. We coordinated with the company to, they're, I guess, going through trying to get the permits to get the depression fixed.
Okay, so you have a contractor, and he's been
Yes.
working with our staff to get the permits. So that's in process.
Yes.
So yes, the permits are going to come from other areas, not just Temple Terrace.
Oh,
And that's where it's getting a little bit convoluted. And our engineer is trying to walk them through the process to make sure it gets done right.
well, then I guess I'll ask you, I assume you're here for an extension.
Yes.
Okay. Does the city have a problem with 30 days?
I don't think so, no. I mean, it's been ongoing, and we want to make sure it's done right,
Yeah.
especially the proximity to the home next door, as well as the road, and impacting the right-of-way areas. So we want to make sure it's done right.
Any other questions?
Is this just the permitting issue?
Yes. Isn't it? In this case, it's about permits, right?
No,
Because it
this
says
is-
stormwater discharge, it doesn't say permits.
No, that's just part of the process. So the entire thing needs to be excavated, replaced. There's a huge ditch about 5-6 foot deep that's going to need to be filled. The stormwater drain area near the right-of-way that belongs to the city is going to need to be cleaned. It's a pretty laborious.
Okay, so she's going to be back here in 30 days then.
Well, right, that's what I was,
Yeah.
is there like an estimated time of completion or?
If you're asking my opinion, I think that a 30-day mark would be a good opportunity for an update, if not completion. Once they get going, the job itself shouldn't take long, but getting everything set up and getting the engineering right is what's taking the longest.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. And again, it's just an extension or not.
I'll go ahead. In case number 252866, I move to extend to,
I'm sorry, you're right.
yep, we'll say December 10th, 2025.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Okay, so for this particular case, you have until December 10th. Should you need additional time or something comes up, you'll need to come back and see us and ask for another extension. There is no guarantee you will receive another extension, but you can come and ask.
Okay,
Okay?
all right, thank
Good
you.
luck. Thank you. Next case, please.
Hey, we're new business.
Case number 25-29999.
999.
2999, City versus Edison de Jesu Germelo Montoya. It's continued for the property located at 11002 Ridgedale Road. This case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 12-763, tree removal penalty, and Section 12-768, tree removal regulations. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Danielle Batt. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening, I'm Officer Batt with Code Compliance. This case this evening was initiated by Officer Smith proactively on July 24th, 2025. Due to multiple oak trees being removed, Officer Smith contacted the city's arborist, Joe Ferris, who met with her on site. Upon her initial inspection on July 25th, 2025, they found a total of 14 trees had been removed from the property, 13 sand oak trees and 1 crepe myrtle throughout the property without permits or permission to do so. A notice of violation, notice of hearing was prepared, posted to the property, posted to the City Hall electronic board, and sent both certified mail and regular mail to the address of record on July 25th, 2025. This case has been in front of the board 2 times previously on September 10th, 2025 and October 8th, 2025, in which this case was continued to tonight's hearing. As of Monday, November 10th, 2025, records show that the property is still not in compliance and no work has been done towards compliance. At this time, we're seeking a ruling, seeing as this case has been ongoing since July and still nothing has been done towards compliance, and would also like to refer any questions to the city arborist, Joe Ferris.
Thank you. Any questions?
I will for Joe, yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members, Joe Ferris, City Arborist. Do we want to go through, the PowerPoint again, just to refresh everyone on the case? It's been a month now. On the 24th of July, Lori Smith had called me asking if any trees had been approved for removal at the address. I met her out there and we found that there were 13 sand live oaks removed on the property and 1 crepe myrtle. There were two gentlemen there working on the house. I asked them if they had any contact information for the homeowner. Excuse me. One of the gentlemen called the homeowner. I spoke to him. The homeowner had said that they had a topographic survey done on the property, so I had requested that to be emailed to me. So in the meantime, Lori and I took photos of all the stumps of the trees that were there. After lunch, I received the boundary survey. It did not include, the topographic did not include the trees that were removed. So I went back out to get the measurements, which is what you see here, the trees numbered and of each stump and the sizes of those DBHs. So it was a total of 123 inches that were removed in those 13 sand live oaks. I think the next photo shows, this is the topographic survey that I received in the email that day on the 24th. The next slide shows what I marked up as far as the rough estimation of where the location of the stumps were. The next slide shows the highlight of the bottom left side is the date that the survey was performed, which was 7/17. And then the date of 7/24, that same day was the date that was signed by the surveyor. I don't know if there's any other slides.
Could you remind me why we continued this case?
I believe it was,
The property had
Changed ownership.
The property had transferred, but the property appraiser's database wasn't showing the new property owners, so we had cited the previous property owners.
Okay. So we
And
just
so when we found that out, we
Corrected
made
the
sure we
address
got the right property owners.
Okay. So none of the facts of the case changed, it was just a mix-up with the address and the.
With who the owner of the property was.
All right, any other questions for Joe? Is the
Have
prop?
we-
Go
Well,
ahead.
I was gonna say, have we had contact with the owners yet?
yeah, they're here. They were here last month as well.
Okay, perfect, yeah,
So they are here tonight.
Getting to that.
okay,
Okay.
sorry.
You want to come up and bring us up to date? Name and address, please.
Yeah, my name is Edison Jaramillo Montoya. I'm the owner of 11002 Richdale Road. Basically, I was here last month, present for the citation. I purchased this house on 7/11. On 7/24, I think was the citation made. There was some tree removal in my part on the front yard of the house. Later, I find out there was some trees that were also in the back of the house that were removed. So there's supposed to be 13. I'm aware only about 7 that I understand we were taken off. The other thing was, yes, it was some type of misunderstanding on the trees. The trees were dead. That's what my landscaping, when I sent them over to clean the yards, they were dying. We have some pictures that I brought last time. I don't know if you still have in record. I didn't bring it again. Show the trees were really decayed, some of them, not all of them. But out of the ones on the front, about 3 of them were really decayed. You see the pictures that Mr. he put in. Yeah. I have it on my phone if you need them, but I brought them last time.
You can continue. Go ahead.
Okay, so there was, in my part that I understand landscaping removed with some tree on the front. And I think by looking at the pictures, there were seven of the oaks, I think there were. I'm not sure which one are oaks or metal. I don't know anything about trees. They were removed. Out of 7, 8 that were in the front, 2 of them were, that I know they were really rotted. Another one was leaning against the house, which had damage on the roof. That was the whole reason for me to get him done, because I need to fix the roof, which I haven't able to get him done yet. Still trying to get permits to get all the stuff, but I can't get permits until I resolve this matter first. Basically, last time I was here, I'm aware that we did some removal of some trees. I don't think they were all part of my, it wasn't doing transition on the purchase of the house. So here are some of the trees, pictures showing how rot they were. And even in the pictures that he provides on 2012, you can see the trees were in very bad shape. That's all I can, I don't know how bad they were, if they were solvable or not. Talking to my landscaping, my instruction one is clean the yard because we were under citation that I was aware of because the trees were bad, they were overgrown landscaping, and we needed to clean the house. So,
Can we pass those photos around again?
yeah, I passed it. Yeah. Those are the ones shown in the front.
Joe, you already seen it.
Are you done, sir? Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. You can have a seat. Joe, I have a question for you.
Yeah, just keep it there.
Does the 120, 123 inches, does that include the crepe myrtle?
No, crepe myrtle is not included only because crepe myrtles are not mitigatable trees. They're protected, but as far as removal, they wouldn't need to be mitigated.
Other questions on the end?
Whether the tree is rotten or not, don't they need a permit?
It still needs my eyes on it to see, to make that call. It's one of those things, I mean, without seeing it, when there's just a stump left, there's no way of making that judgment call. But it still would need, it still would.
Whether dead, it's irrelevant to this case.
Rod?
It's for the owner.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, then let's go.
So if I remember right, the restitution, you're recommending that, or not, I guess the restitution is that they have to plant 13 trees, right? 13, 45, whatever. There was some, I looked at the meeting, the notes from the last meeting. So is that what, they need 13 to replant 13 trees and possibly a fine, and that's where what category does a sand live oak?
I believe it's in the top one. It should be the top one, isn't it?
Is it?
With the live
It says
oaks.
live oaks, so.
$5,000. 50 plus.
Do they not have this?
Yeah, no, we did,
We have
I
it.
just,
We have
I
it.
just didn't
We
know, I
just
didn't know if it was.
didn't know what
if a sand.
which category it fell
Yeah,
in.
a sand live oak versus a live oak, and
They're essentially similar trees. They're the same in, as far as the tree itself goes, they're very similar. So they would fall in the same category, sand live oak and live oak.
so the matrix doesn't go beyond, I mean, it's 50 dBH is what is the max, so I just really wasn't sure what you.
The only thing is that matrix is per tree, so we didn't go beyond a 50-inch tree.
Yeah.
We don't have redwoods here.
Okay, so it's per, so
And
we'd
that's
have,
also because we
you're gonna make me do
maxed
some
out
math. I mean,
maximum $5,000 fine per tree.
Oh,
So that's why that max is at one tree, if it's 50 inches or greater, the max is the 5,000. But that matrix based on 100 per inch.
okay, so we'd have to go and actually, based on the information you gave us earlier, if we wanted to use the matrix, we'd have to
You know, what would
figure
you-
out per,
What would you say the average would be for each tree, average size?
I'd have to look through all the photos. I don't know what the average in most of them were.
Is it more than 6 or less than 6?
More than 6.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, more than 6.
Any other questions for the arborist? You said you had a question for the owner.
For the owner.
You want to step up, please?
I just
No,
want-
before you talk, name and address.
Okay. Edison Montoya, this is Jeremy Montoya, 11002 Richdale Road.
And hold on, he has a question, then you can
Okay.
respond.
Yes.
Did you obtain any arborist or talk to Ferris before you did? You said you cut.
On the front, on the
removed-
property, yes.
You removed 7 trees.
Yeah, my landscaping told me that he did one on the front. There was some in the back, I think they were cut previously.
Before you owned the house?
Yes. And that's all I can go by what my landscaper told me.
But did you discuss anything with?
No,
Terrace
not
you
before,
did
not before that.
And
What-
your landscape person, is he qualified arborist? He knew, can he have?
What I understood, I hired from,
Because you said
yeah.
some of them sick, and
Yeah.
they were.
that was when I came that day to the house in the afternoon. He was still working there. I was not there during the whole process. So when I got there, I said, well, what have you done? So he showed me we take the ones on the tree. The one that were bad, because my instruction, unfortunately, was whatever is there, we got to clean it up. And whatever, clean the house, clean whatever's there. And if he told me, well, I cut this one, he showed me the one on the front. There were about 7 or 8 on the front, I'm not mistaken, about something like that. I got the pictures, and a couple of them were really, they were rot. How bad the rot, I cannot tell you, I'm not an arborist either, so I'm just going by who was telling me. I also want to mention I have about over 40 trees in the property still, which about 20-some is still oaks. And out of those 40-something trees that I have, I still need to get removed because they're bad, they rotted, and they cause a danger to the property and to anybody.
And Mr. Ferris looked at them.
I spoke to him earlier when we started doing this process.
These trees are not part of this.
They're not, until I resolve this, he cannot go.
Remind you that, your questions about the arborist and stuff, the letter that you're referring to is something that you supply before you cut the trees down to get the permit, not use it as an excuse afterwards. I had an arborist.
Or you have it and then you don't need the permit.
Yeah, or you have it, you don't need the permit, right. Any other questions?
One, actually.
Go ahead.
Do you have an invoice that lists, because, the city is saying 13 trees, you're saying 7 or 8.
Yes.
Do you have an invoice that lists what?
No, I didn't. He just charged me when I got there for the day work.
Yeah.
That was the day work. I don't know.
Okay.
He just charged me for the day where I took off the day and stuff like that.
Any other questions?
And I have a question for one of you. You say about replanting more trees. I have no problem putting another 13 trees in the property, but since I have 40 trees, how many more trees do I need to have in the property?
Well, joking answer that.
Do I need to replant them if needed to?
I don't have an answer to that for right now. He's talking about wanting to remove more trees. We haven't even discussed looking at that. And the reason for those trees, is it because he plans to do something else with the property back there? Or is it the condition of the trees? None of that's been evaluated yet. So.
But the remedy is
If they can't all be planted on the property, then it has to be paid into the fund at $300 per tree. But it's
either plant 14 trees.
Every attempt it has to be made to plant as many as possible.
A crepe myrtle. 13 trees and a crepe myrtle, or put money into the tree fund. Okay.
Well, point of order, I think if I'm understanding you, Joe, an attempt needs to be made at planting before any consideration is made to putting money into the fund.
Yeah, our code is not written as an and/or situation, either meaning that you plant or you pay. It's written that you plant as many as you possibly can. That difference
Whatever
then
you can,
pays.
you put
Yes.
into the, yeah.
But again, not knowing what the plan is for the rest of the yard and the other trees that he is concerned with, I haven't looked at that because this needs to be dealt with first before we move forward with any of that.
Got it. Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Bill?
Tree expert.
I don't know. This is, all right. So.
I can do that.
Somebody.
Question first. So there's a fine that,
Let's wait for the motion. Then you can, during discussion, you can ask.
okay.
If you want to do it, go ahead. I mean, you're
Go
usually.
ahead, Ron.
Let me attempt it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's not
In
attempt.
case number 25-2999, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violations of the City of Simple Terrace City Code exist on the property located at 11002 Ridgedale Road, with the applicable code violation section 12-763 and section 12-768. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that the violation is irreversible as defined by City Code Section 1-63. Therefore, I move that the fine be $200 per tree be imposed for each violation. January 14th, 2026. If the respondent does not comply with the order or on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day that the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be to plant the replacement trees by the deadline date to be $25 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second for discussion.
A motion and a second. Further discussion on the ends.
His proposed fine is $200 per tree.
Right.
So you can't put a daily.
Our chart starts at 500 for a 5-inch tree, and Joe mentioned that each one on average exceeded 6 inches. So at a minimum, there would be $600 per tree times 13.
But we can't exceed $5,000 anyway.
You can't exceed $5,000 per tree.
I consider the fact, first of all, this is not a commercial property. It was not done intentionally. I believe from these photos, a lot of these trees were sick. Unfortunately, he did not know the right way to, but I can't give him that excuse, but to go to an arborist and get a letter from him before his landscape person, who he instructed him to clean and take out the bad trees, the falling tree over the house. That's why this chart, I love it, it's good, if somebody is doing something intentional. But we cannot go and have our residents in City of Simple Terrace that don't know. They just send a landscape person, anybody, cut these trees, trim these trees, and these people just come for a day and just, cause a lot of havoc. So this is my opinion, and I think that's right.
You can't tell the health of a tree by looking at a picture.
Well, some people do, especially landscape people. They've been around trees a lot.
You can't make that decision sitting up here at the dais, looking at a picture, and determine whether any particular tree is sick or not.
Sometimes you do.
No, well, I would just, again, no tree expert, but, some of the cuts look older, some of you can tell they're fresh. I would hate to penalize somebody for something they didn't do. He's saying he bought the property in the summer, like why, that's not fair. I don't.
Also admits that his guy cut down 7 or 8 trees. So even if we take him at his word of 7 or 8 trees at a 6-inch.
Well, again,
right?
that's
I'm just pointing out
for
the
discussion.
facts.
I'm just saying it's, you can look at some and you can tell that they're older. You can tell that others aren't. And I think Joe could probably look in, obviously he can't give a perfect forensic date, but you can say this one is older than that. And I don't think it's fair to penalize somebody for something they didn't do.
And 40 trees, taking out 13, 15, you still have 25 trees on the property. How many
He
acres is
he
this?
has a big property. That's a
Yeah.
wonderful property, so.
They're about
So
almost
that's what I took in consideration in doing my motion, please. You know, so that's,
So, okay, so right now, just to clarify, we've got his original motion that says 13 trees times 200 is 2,600. We've got a suggestion of 13 trees times the minimum of 600, which is 7,800. And then we've got discussion that, well, maybe he didn't cut them all down, and it's only 7 trees. 7 trees times 600 is 4,200. So we've got 3 numbers on the board. So you guys decide what you want to do.
and also require him to plant 13 trees.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
additional.
that's consistent.
Yes.
Well, to that end, do you believe, because you seem to be a voice of reason, do you believe it's reasonable for him to plant 13 trees in 30 days?
Well, if not, he can ask for an extension. That's basic. It's, you know.
I mean, we've already had this
We try,
case,
you know,
we've already had this case,
I-
this is the
yeah.
3rd time it's been in front of us.
Yeah, it depends on the weather, and I don't know how the
Could we
tree
wait
can
for the
survive.
tree, the tree thing that we do? Could we wait for that?
And there are also tree bank and all that, so, you know, there's a lot of avenues for that, remedy, so, but.
So again, we have original motion, 13 trees times $200. We've had people suggest, or board members suggest, 13 trees times 600. We've had a board member suggest 7 trees times 600. Is there any official request to amend the motion?
I would request to amend the motion to 13 trees at $600 per violation.
Then make a new motion. I disagree.
I'd like to read this from the City of Temple Terrace's website. Temple Terrace is renowned for its plush landscape of trees, especially its many varieties of oak. The city is replete with grand oak, laurel oak, water oaks, as well as many other species. And it goes on to continue more. If
We
we
had a
don't,
testimony under
if
oath that
we-
the guy. You know,
if we don't protect our trees according to the rules that we've set in place to do so, then we run the risk of losing them. I understand your point. I understand that, you know, this feels like a common sense, like, you know, look, the trees didn't appear to be safe in the pictures. But there's a reason we have a process to these things, and it's because of that. It's
The only
because-
way I'll admit, I'll amend my, if I meet you, you say in 600, I'll do 50%, that's 300. That's my bottom one. I don't want to impose in these hardship, big hardship on the property owner. Just, that's my personal opinion, as I told you. So,
You said
it's
you look
big
like-
hardship, big hardship.
What was the new proposal, 13?
So there's three proposals essentially on the table. You have the original motion, 13 times 200 equals $2,600. I believe you said, okay, we're going to do the 13 trees, the minimum was 6 inches, that would be 7,800.
Right.
And then you said, I can understand, maybe he will only cut down 7, so 7 times 600 is 4,200.
I personally believe, tying to your, fine him for the 7 trees that he admits he cut down, whether it's 600 or less, I'll leave that up to somebody else. But I agree that the number should be 7 at this point.
Yeah. Because again, I don't feel it's fair to penalize someone for something they didn't do. If they bought the property, the trees were cut down just because code didn't see it prior to that, doesn't mean that they should now be penalized for it.
All right, let's call the question, and we'll do a roll call vote, starting on your end. On the original motion. The original motion of 13 trees times $200, replace the trees, $25 per day.
Nay.
Yes, so I made the motion.
Yeah, so vote.
Yes.
Nay.
Nay.
I would say aye to it. I'd still go with it.
Nay.
Okay, motion fails. We need a new motion.
All right.
I love the trees fairs.
All right. In case number 25-2999, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace Code exists on the property located at 11002 Ridgedale Road. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Daniel Batt, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that violation is irreparable and irreversible as defined by City Code 1-63. Therefore, I move that the fine be $4,200, a fine of $4,200 be imposed for, not 4,200, but what was the, $600 for 7 trees, which would be a total of $4,200. I further move that the respondent replace their improperly removed trees by planting 13 trees on or before, was it December? 30 days is December 10th, right? December 10th, 2025. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violations continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine for failing to plant the replacement trees by the deadline date to be $25 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? No nays, motion carries. Okay, so you have been found in violation. You have 30 days to bring the property into compliance. If in fact you cannot bring the property into compliance within 30 days of December 10th, you're welcome to come back here and ask for an extension. You are not guaranteed an extension, but you have the right to ask for one. Any questions?
Yes. The only question I have is, and I don't know if I can address this in the next time will come here, but 13 trees. I have to plant 13 trees. And like I said before, I have 40-something trees in the property right now.
That's a question that you need to talk to Joe about.
Okay,
And that's not for our purview tonight.
because I gotta find a place to put them.
Yeah, but talk to Joe.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
If I can put them, can I donate it somewhere else? Anybody need a tree?
Talk to Joe. Thank you.
That's fair. That's fair. Can I give you a tree?
Next case.
Like Oprah, a tree for you, a tree for you.
If you look under your chair, you'll find that it's a tree.
That's a great question.
The trees for Oprah.
Next case, please.
Case number 25-500072, City versus Blue Rock Premier Properties for property located at 6900 Aruba Avenue. This case is before the board based on the alleged violation of Section 8-56A, fire alarm system not operational, Section 8-57B4, fire hydrant access maintenance, Section 8-57B1, fire safety emergency lighting, Section 8-57B2, fire safety extinguisher inspection, Section 8-57D, fire safety posting addresses, Section 8-56, fire suppression systems, Section 8-55, fire grills, and Section 8-55A2. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Fire Inspector Cletus Squires. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Cletus Squires, Fire Inspector with the City of Temple Terrace.
It's a lot.
So I'm bringing this case forward tonight. It's a commercial violation, as stated. I did it as a single case for 6900 Aruba Avenue. It's the Park of Valenza apartment complex. Okay. So this case was originated back May 22nd of 2025 during an annual periodic fire safety inspection. Before initiating the annual periodic inspection, I met with property management representative. At that time was Quinn Bartlett. The inspection identified multiple fire code violations noted in the inspection reports. The report was provided to the property management, contact of record, Quint Bartlett, and Meredith Graves via email. On September 25th, 2025, I served a notice of violation after several re-inspections of the property revealed that corrections had not been made and the property was not in compliance. A notice of violation was sent, certified mail, receipt hand-delivered by me to Quinn Bartlett, property contact of record. The notice was also posted at City Hall by the clerk's office. The notice of violation gave 30 days for the property to come into compliance. As stated, there were 8 violations. Fire alarm panel not being maintained, the 8 fire hydrants on the property not being inspected and maintained, backup emergency lighting for the buildings in disrepair and not operational, fire extinguisher certification not verified. On that, they have had some work done, progress on that violation only, but it's still not in compliance. Posting of the address, there were some buildings that they are doing work on there, but as far as putting new siding on some of the buildings, there's a lot of work going on inside the complex. And some of the buildings' addresses and numbers were missing. There's still people living in those buildings, and emergency vehicles sort of got to guess if they get at the right building, okay? 6th violation, the automatic fire sprinklers are not maintained. They haven't been inspected within the last 12 months, and their last inspection, the majority of them, the high percentage of the sprinkler systems did fail that inspection. They were working with a vendor who has since moved on to do that work. There's 78 different fire sprinklers in there. There's 78 apartment buildings and 2 clubhouses. So all 78 residential buildings, multifamily buildings, do have their individual fire sprinkler systems. Violation 7, I noted cooking devices on numerous balconies, which is against fire code, basically grills on balconies. And also cooking devices stowed, violation number 8 is cooking devices stowed underneath the emergency stairwell exits, which is a separate violation. A reinspection was conducted on October 27th, revealed that the property was not in compliance after the 30 days. So on that date, a notice of hearing was initiated. The same process. The hearing was served by certified mail and posted at City Hall by the clerk's office and hand-delivered by myself to the property representative of record, which is now John, who stated that Quint Bartlett was no longer associated with the property and that he would hand-deliver it to the maintenance supervisor, a gentleman named Frank. At this time, I'd like to approach and submit photo evidence of the property.
We'll accept that, thank you.
You don't want to see him, Marty?
Okay, do you want me to read through them, or you want to be able to show them? You want to show them? Okay. So just the photos. Believe me, these are repetitive per building, but I'm just showing some, and they're consistent multiple times over. Okay. The first photo shows on building 13. That's that red tag that you see on that one. That's that the fire alarm is not in compliance. There wasn't even power supplied to the fire alarm for that building. There was no power supplied, so it couldn't work. And photo exhibit number 2 shows just the fire alarm tag of last inspection date, and shows it's out of compliance from that. Obviously, they can't even inspect it if it doesn't have power, and that's the same building on 13. Photo Exhibit 3 shows the automatic fire sprinkler system, red tag, signifying that the system had failed its last inspection, which was conducted by Fox Fire Inspection on 4/11/2024. That picture comes from Building 10, but once again, that's consistent with the majority of the 78 buildings out there. Actually, all 78 buildings. Okay, photo exhibit number 4 shows FDC for Building 10, fire sprinkler not maintained. The photo just gives you why it's not maintained. It shows the corrosion and rust inside the internal piping to the fire sprinkler system, along with the missing cap there. That's Building 10 as well. Photo Exhibit 6 shows the fire hydrants on the complex. Last inspected date was, and I had to go through several of them to find, was, oh, excuse me, I missed one. This is Photo Exhibit 5, shows a grill underneath the exit stairway. That's the people from the upstairs. That's their only exit, by the way, and they got to come down if somebody is cooking on a grill right over a grill that's either stowed or being used underneath the stairway. There's no loud combustibles, much less a grill underneath the exit stair, emergency exit stair. The only exit. Okay, so Photo Exhibit 6 shows the fire hydrant. That's the only one I found with a tag. The rest were not tagged. That they had been removed probably by line maintenance or storm. But it shows that it was last serviced by Wayne Fire on November 8th, 2022. Photo Exhibit 7 shows a grill on an upper level balcony, as you can see there in the corner, along with the tires stored. So, yeah, that's not allowed by code either. You can't cook them on balconies. Our stow any grills. It's not only the use, it's also the storing, because they have changed that over the years, saying if they have them, they're going to use them, so they can't even have them, okay? So, Photo Exhibit 8 is just, again, a failed fire sprinkler alarm system. That's on Building 54, just to showing consistency as I move through the property, that they're repeat violations. Photo Exhibit 9, same thing, same building, 54, just shows it's out of date, it hadn't been inspected. It's out of date more than 12 months. Photo Exhibit 10, same thing, shows a stair underneath the emergency exit stairway. Photo Exhibit 11 shows, I think I missed one, but okay, so that's actually going to be 12 here, which is going to show that fire alarm was detached from the wall, sitting on top of the air condition. And that's been since May, and as of Friday, I took that picture, and it's in the same location. And it's also deemed to be non-operational, so there's no fire alarm for that building. Photo Exhibit 14 shows battery backup emergency lighting and disrepair on Building 39. Well, okay, oh, that's 13. That just shows the address, that one that is there. Like I said, there are some that are missing, okay? So that was the Building 34 with the fire alarm. That's not a violation there. Okay, that goes back to the one we missed, sort of got out of order. That's that just shows the grill at a different angle with a staircase, I guess, that's being repaired. As you can see, the handrail's been removed, and a temporary one has been put up with non-treated wood with a fire grill right underneath there, and it's not secured at all. I can actually just push on it and it will fall over. That's the exit. Just one example of a emergency backup lighting with exit side hanging from the ceiling. Okay, with by just the wiring holding it up. These pictures were all taken as per my last inspection prior to this meeting, and they were taken on November 7th. It confirms the property is still out of compliance.
Any questions for the officer?
So all, sorry. So all the violations are still out of compliance?
So, yes, the property is not in compliance on all violations as we speak. And there's only one of the violations that an attempt to address it since, in 6 months now, next week will be 6 months since my original inspection, has been attempted, and that was to have the fire extinguisher serviced. And I did receive a receipt from property management showing that they paid for a service of the extinguishers, but there were several hundred that had to be replaced because they're out of date, not just be recertified. And my last visit to the property, I was told they had 380 of them that were being delivered, but they weren't sure where they went, and they were sitting in a room in the maintenance office. So that does no good if they're not in the actual units.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna ask.
It's like-
All of this, times 78?
Times each violation, yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be the max if you want to address it. That's
78
for yours.
units. All these violations times.
Well, no, so it won't be quite the fire hydrants. There's not 78 fire hydrants.
Okay.
I can report that back. I believe there's 8 hydrants, okay? Fire alarm, fire sprinkler, times 78. All the buildings, the two-story buildings and the townhomes towards the back of the complex do not have the emergency backup lighting. Only the 3-story buildings do in the center of the complex. The grills, it's not going to be every building either. I have an individual report, but due to my past experience here or whatever, and through my bosses, we consolidated it all as one instead of bringing each 78 cases to you, okay?
I'm just trying to understand.
Scope it out.
Right.
How we're.
So the property had violations
Fine.
in the past, and we always been working towards, we set up with past management phases, and they're doing so much work because there is a lot of work, and I realize the expense of it, and to get the critical life safety issues addressed. And we're working, but since May, it's nothing, and the new ownership and new management is not very responsive or to addressing the issues. There are some new people here tonight to represent who I just met tonight during right before the meeting. Okay, so
I just had a hypothetical question. So
okay,
if a fire were to occur at in this complex, would there be no alarm? The fire department wouldn't know about it, or is there any?
it's a good chance, depending on which building. It's a good chance that the alarm may or may not go off.
Okay.
It hadn't been inspected at the very least, so it's out with that. Some of them are not functional at all. So there's 78 fire alarms in the buildings. The sprinklers, some are gonna go off. We've had, since I've done my inspection, fire crews have been out there several times for sprinkler breaks. Some due to construction, some due to maintenance, and some just due to lack of maintenance, and they just break on their own, like an emergency situation that we had to deal with, that flowing water inside the units. So it's not 100% that none of it will go off. None of it will go off as designed and as the intent of the code.
And in your estimation, how long would it take to get all this, to remedy this situation? Just rough.
Well, I heard some of the discussion earlier. If the finances were out of the equation and they hired and got a good contractor, it's really hard to say. It's going to be months.
You've been dealing with this issue since May, right?
Correct.
6 months.
But I haven't seen them do anything since May. At first it was Cox. Cox was going to continue. Cox told me on the phone that they refused to go back out there if they're not getting paid. Then I was heard by property management that they signed a contract with Piper. Since then, I've heard they signed again with Cox, but I have seen no movement on the property.
Bottom line is that this first came up 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Correct. That's when the new management was was given the inspection, and I gave them quite a bit of time to address it before.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Go ahead, Rod.
So I know, Cletus, you know that. So it's a high-risk property. We are endangering some public, it's mostly occupied or?
Look at the stairs. I'll be in
Yeah, I know.
down the stairs
I looked at the
myself, right?
stairs, I looked at the codes. Nobody is enforcing even, not having grilling on the balconies and on the,
No, and I
without all
explained
these
that.
safety features too.
I had the code for y'all to attach to
All that,
one of the
yeah.
grills, with that about the grills. We have apartments all around there. I write them up, I go back, I do an inspection, and they remove them. When I go back the next year, for a lot of them, they're there. They had the ability to find and police that themselves. So we can't be in there every day looking for grills on something that size. It takes me multiple days
Just
just
for
to do that
clarification,
inspection.
these buildings are occupied, correct?
Correct.
That's
All the buildings that I wrote up, they may have something different, but what I've seen, they are occupied, okay?
Any other questions?
Each building, probably.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. And you said the owners, the new.
Representatives
property managers
are here tonight.
Representatives are here? Name and address, please.
My name is Rob Sylvia. I'm here for 6900 Aruba Avenue. I'm with the new ownership group. We just took over mid-May or mid-April of this year. We did inherit a property with a lot of deferred maintenance, not just with the fire system, but throughout the property. We are currently working on a lot of these deferred maintenance, life safety issues, along with the fire system that's out here. When we first took over the property, we were given a deficiency report for this by the previous inspection, and we have been working off that deficiency report, which does include the exit emergency lights that are in the 3-story buildings, which we did just have replaced as part of our lighting project. That was the first piece that was replaced on the property. And again, this is for the 3 5-story buildings. So every one of those are brand new, and they're on the 2nd and 3rd floor of these buildings. First floor doesn't have them, they never did, so we didn't install them on the 2nd and 3rd floors. We also had 309 fire extinguishers that were out of date. We did order all 309 of those fire extinguishers, had them tagged by A to Z, fire protection, and our site team has distributed those to all of the units that were on our deficiency list that we received from Cox Fire Protection, who is now Pi Barker. On that note, Cox Fire Protection did change and merge into Pi Barker, who is the new fire protection company that we have moved forward with using for this property. One, because we have a lot of Cox fire panels out there. They're part of the new Pi Barker company, so we're using them. We've signed contract with them to move forward with the inspections, the services for the properties. We have caught up on those past due invoices that were past due from the prior ownership company. We have gotten those caught up with them. As far as the other fire violations that are on here, and if you don't mind if I go through these, because there is a lot on here. So starting off with the a fire alarm system, we were brought to our attention that building 14, 15, 16, 32, and 42, those buildings, fire panels did not work. We did have our electrical company out here to get the electrical repaired on these and back to functioning states. There was a couple that had to be replaced. We do have invoice proof showing that we did contract this company out. We do need to get the new fire protection company out to do their inspection and properly tag them now, but those have been fixed. It does sound from his showing of the pictures that there are other panels that we do need to have our annual inspection, go through and really give us a good list so we can make sure we're doing the right thing by taking care of these life safety issues. We are investing millions into this property. It's not just hundreds of thousands. We are investing tens of millions into this property, and we want to make sure we address all life safety issues with the fire system, with the balconies, with the staircase systems on these properties, and we're trying to go through the proper channels to make sure we do this. We have had this property about 6 months, and I feel like we've gotten a very good dent so far on it, but there's still so much we still need to address, and we're trying to address it in such short time. I live in Colorado. I moved down here to be a part of this, to make sure we get this properties, deficiencies, projects done properly, and we want to do so to make sure that this community is a shining part of Temple Terrace. I mean, we have 776 units at this property, so we want to make sure that it is a well-oiled machine here, and it's safe for the residents who are living there. And we do want to make sure we address all of these issues. As far as moving down that list, because there is a lot to still go over, the fire alarm systems we talked about, we did address the ones that we were presented by our deficiency report from Cox. We will make sure that we jump on these other ones that are were given over by the fire marshal. The fire hydrant access, we will be communicating to residents to make sure the access is sufficient enough for any fire, for them to have the full access to those. Those are located underneath staircases in phase 1 and 2, and we'll make sure that the residents understand that if they put anything around those, that it will be a violation that we will, enforce onto them as well. So we will make sure to take those proper steps. And then as far as the inspections of those, we will be moving forward with Pi Barker on our annual inspections, and we will make sure that that is a part of our annual inspections. And any deficiencies that come from that inspection from Pi Barker, we will make sure to address from there. And then the fire safety, the extinguishers, as I said, we did purchase the 309. We've distributed those throughout all of the residents that were on that deficiency report. That was recently. We did purchase it. It was in a room. We were waiting for that list of units that they needed to go to from Cox. Pi Barker now. We did get that from them, and it has been distributed throughout the property. Our fire safety posting addresses, I will address it with our contractors working on these buildings, that at the end of each day we need to have those signs rehung up on there. We do plan on doing, once we paint each phase of the property, which painting is pretty much saying like, hey, we're done with that phase. Phase 3 being our fastest phase. It's the newer phase. It's where our townhomes are. We are doing a signage project for the property. We will have updated signs. It's something we're in still the beginning stages, but for the time being, we will make sure that the contractors, if they take it off the building, that they have it up by the end of the day, so that way the fire marshal comes through. And then I will go through and try to identify, make sure if there is any missing, that we at least get some kind of a temporary sign up that's sufficient enough and of size. So the next one is the fire suppression system. We do have, so Cox is the one who did the inspection on all the sprinkler heads on the property. They did identify a great amount of fire sprinkler heads on property that do need to be replaced. The prior ownership group did make a partial payment of that contract. The contract was under that old ownership with Cox Fire Protection. We have been working with now Pi Barker, who's Cox merged into, to get a negative change order going, get a new contract in place for the remaining dollar amount to finish up the project, because what is left is just a couple more buildings in phase 2 and then all of phase 3. The rest of it, from my understanding from Cox, has been taken care of so far. It was put on pause because of our sale and then also their merger. So we are trying to get that going. I talked with Cox. They are trying to get teams together and be ready to move forward the second week of December. It will take anywhere from 90 to 120 days to complete. It is a very intrusive project. You got to go into every resident's home. Some of these, you got to cut out their ceilings to be able to get to the sprinkler head, to be able to replace it. Some of the pipes get replaced because the sprinkler head doesn't just come out sometimes. So it's going to be a very intrusive project, but they are committed to have it done within a 90 to 120 day time frame, starting the second week of December is what they're saying. With all of that being said, we are trying to take the proper steps, and it has been a great deal we've had to deal with at this property. And we definitely want to partner up with all parties in the city, the fire marshal. I've gotten to know the inspector because we're doing poly pipe replacement throughout all of Phase 2, which is another very intrusive project. We're working through that pretty quick. We've replaced roofs on property. We're doing siding. And, you know, we got balconies throughout Phase 1. All of those need to be replaced. We're getting engineering going right now. I'm working with the inspector. We met with them last week when my boss was in town. I mean, there's a great deal of work here, and we're trying to work through it all to make sure that this property is safe, first and foremost.
And while all this is going on, you haven't moved anybody out?
There has been move-outs. I mean, people do move out.
No.
People give notice.
You're allowing them to stay there while their balcony is in disrepair?
No, I mean, if their balcony is unsafe, we do shore it up. We have temporary shoring put in place on those balconies until we get those going. At least the ones we know for sure. We did do destructive testing with the engineer when before we even took over the property to go around underneath all of the balconies, inspected all the joists there to see if any of them needed shoring. We were shoring them up right then and there. But it was, main goal was to also be able to put our plans together for those balconies. And we did that to all the entryways as well, not just balconies, in Phase 1 and 2.
Concisely explain to me, you said you took over in April.
Yes, mid-April.
What stopped you from doing all this stuff you say you're now going to do?
We have been doing it. I mean, we've been working with the engineer on getting these drawings going for the balconies, the three-story staircases, the landings. We got a plan set once already. It ended up being way higher than we had planned on budgeting for. It was to go back for like. Now we're looking at a different type of scope with the engineer, which is to do a full replacement, but more open face or more wood construction balconies. So we just got those plans, got the plans back. We did find some issues. We sent them back to the engineer with some RFIs to get some more information, so that way we can get our proper bids from our contractors. We've collected many bids for just that project. As far as the other projects, we've been working on them since we've been taken over. As far as like underground valves that were left there not functioning for 4 or 5 years, for say Building 67. Fire suppression system. We got that valve replaced underground with First Impressions. We worked with First Impressions on Building 61 to get that underground valve replaced because it was something Cox was working on prior to us taking over, but it ended up stopping because they found that the job was way out of their scope of being able to take care of for us. So we had our plumbers come in and take care of that. So there's been a lot of this stuff we have taken care of since day one as well.
Any other questions? Yeah.
How long has your contract with Cox been in place?
The contract, are you familiar with this? I'm sorry, this, I know we just signed a new one, which was within the past couple of weeks for the inspections.
And you had one in place with them prior?
There was one in place prior. We've had a monitoring one in place. And from my understanding, it was supposed to expire in December. We just signed a new one with Pipe Archer. I'm sorry?
What are they monitoring?
Their fire panels.
The alarm panels that don't work?
Yeah. Yeah, from my understanding, that's what they're doing, yes.
I have 3 questions.
Yes, sir.
How many residents do you have? How many people that are citizens of the city of Temple Terrace live in these apartments?
I'm not sure of the exact count or the exact occupancy.
An exact number,
very
a
low
round number would be
occupancy
fine.
right now.
Occupancy rate.
We have very low occupancy. I do have our VP of Asset Management here. This is our management company that we use for this property to help with those questions. I don't know those exact numbers. I focus more on the construction side of.
Roughly how many citizens of the city of Temple Terrace are in danger because of the lack of life-saving equipment working on your properties? Roughly. Are we talking 1,000, 2,000,
He said
50?
766 units.
There is
Right.
776 units.
Well, how many units, how many people are in those units? Do you have one bedrooms up to three bedrooms? Do you have families? Do you have kids?
26 3 bedrooms. Off the top of your head. I mean, we are 75% occupied out of 776. I mean, we have
That could be up to 1,500.
26 3 bedrooms, a lot of 1 bedrooms.
That's a significant portion of the population of the city of Temple Terrace, which is projected to be about 26,000. So if you have 1,500 people living under these conditions that you're responsible for, that's saying something. Why are you not actively policing the grills? Why is the policing the grills? Why is the fire inspector able to see these on a regular basis every visit?
That is something we've given direction to our community manager to make sure that they're communicating this with the resident. It is in our lease that they can't have these type of grills on the patio. They're supposed to be enforcing this with the residents, and we have since we have a new manager we're looking to hire right now for the property. So we are working with our RMs right now who are going to be communicating. I can't speak for the property management team if they have yet or not, but I know that they will be communicating with these residents to make sure that there is no barbecues on balconies, underneath staircases. There shouldn't even be on property. We don't allow those.
Okay. And you spoke through a lot of these violations in addition to a lot of the construction projects that you have on the property. It seems like you're working off of a list. Is that right? You got a list when you first bought the property that you were working through. What was that called?
Deficiency.
The deficiency list?
The deficiency list for the fire system.
And that was, that was just for the fire systems. Okay, but
The
you're,
rest of it is something we put together during our due diligence. We did due diligence for about a year before we purchased the property. That's all based off of what we saw during multiple walks, putting our budgets together based off of those walks. As far as the fire codes issues, I've been basing it off of the deficiency report that I was given, and that's what I have been focusing on trying to complete. I truthfully was unaware of a lot of the issues, and I should have been more active at looking at these tags or opening up these panels and looking to see what's going on. I was based generally just going off of my deficiency report that I had.
the reason I ask that is it sounds like you're making a lot of progress in other parallel things that have to do with beautification of the property or repairing older pieces of property, while you have non-working fire safety equipment. So if there is a fire, the fire alarms don't work in some cases. The sprinklers don't work in some cases. And if the fire department were to get there to try to hook up to a fire hydrant, there's no guarantee they're going to get water. That puts so many lives at risk, but you're redoing the railings. It doesn't seem like the priorities are aligned with the safety of our population that chooses to live in your apartment complex. Is there anything that's going to happen after this discussion tonight that would cause your company to reprioritize the safety of your residents over beautification projects?
Yeah, we can get our annual inspection going and get a better idea as far as exactly what we need to take care of on the entire property. We could also explore new fire companies who will be more responsive for us. That's been our biggest struggle, is trying to get Cox or Pybarker to be responsive for us. But we've been going with them because that's the type of systems we have on property.
Yeah, but I just asked you the question of how long you've had a contract, and you've told me you've had a contract for at least the last 6 months.
For the monitoring.
Just
piece
the
is what I'm
monitoring?
told, Yeah.
Okay. Well, that doesn't do squat if the systems don't work.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Go ahead, Rod.
For the gentleman, you mentioned 90 to 120 days to fix all these 8 violations.
That's just for the sprinklers, I'm sorry.
For the sprinkler?
Yeah, that's the timeline they gave me just for the sprinklers.
Yes, so So 90 to 120 days, just the sprinklers, because they're more tedious. You gotta go into the ceiling and all that. My other question is just probably general, I don't know if it's, do you have insurance?
Oh, yeah. We have insurance.
With all these violations in place?
Well, we need to get re-inspected to see where we're at with these violations, because from what I am understanding is we took care of the deficiencies that we were given from the Cox who did the last inspection, who does those tags that he was showing. That's what we worked off of. We need to get them out there to do another inspection to see exactly where we're at now for the move forward. My understanding is that Cox did do some of the minor repairs on the fire system when I first showed up. There's been several calls out to them to take care of those repairs. I took care of the 5 buildings that were on the deficiency for the fire panels. There's been numerous calls by the actual property management team to get them out there to do other repairs. And then we just need to get the annual inspection going so we know where we need to go forward from here.
So you think in 30 days, if we gave you 30 days to correct the most significant life-saving issues, you think it's doable? Because we're very concerned. I agree, I mean, I agree with everybody. We're very concerned for safety, fire. We will be held, even the city of Temple Terrace, if we let this go around, it's held sometimes liable. I don't know.
And a lawyer.
Ernie can tell us. It's a very, very important issue, very.
I know within the next, we can get a better understanding of what we need to do for sure within 30 days. We can have our annual inspection. We can work with Cox or Pipe Archer now to get that annual inspection scheduled and see exactly where we are from here. Get another deficiency report from them and work off of that to make sure we correct every known issue that we have.
Can I?
Hang on. Are you done?
Yes, sir.
Well, and that might be something that you could work with code and fire with to prioritize. If they're called out to save the people in your apartments, what do they need?
Exactly.
You know, that's what's important to us.
If they get a call.
Well, yeah, well, someone's gonna call eventually, but, you know, hopefully sooner or later, but, you know, prioritize with them what you need to do. If they can't get water, what, you know, that's awful.
Yeah, but we need to get those inspections going so we can test them and see if
Any other questions?
Just
Go ahead, Rod.
Cletus, he can come back.
You can have a seat, sir.
Oh, yeah.
I just need
Pete Squires, Fire Inspector.
Yes. I just need a quick summary of how concerned you are, just on the record.
Very concerned. It's one of the worst conditioned properties for fire violations that I do in the city, and I do essentially 100% of commercial fire inspections for the city.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead.
I have a question first.
Go ahead.
$250 per day. Is that per violation or is that per?
According to the code, yes.
Oh, it's time to.
So, I mean, I realize we've had testimony.
Mike.
Sorry. That would be $250 per violation per day is what the code and the statute allows. And I've been looking at this, how, you know, we would do that. I see that there's 8, if I count correctly, 8
There is.
code sections that are on here. I think, and that's probably gonna be the best way for you to calculate.
578.
Well, that's going to be very difficult. We don't know whether it's, you know, we already heard the fire hydrants. There aren't 78 of those. That's gonna be a difficult count. So I'm looking at probably 8 code sections. And also, and I think you guys are already on this, I think that the deadline cannot be more than 30 days. Now, granted, they may not be able to get it done in that time, but they need to be coming back to you for status checks and telling you what the progress is.
Again, I'll remind you, they said they took over in April. First inspection was May. And there's really been zero progress since then.
Very little.
I want a weekly practice.
Have you been sworn in, sir?
Yes, sir.
Come on up. Name and address, please.
Good evening, John Jones, 6900 Aruba Avenue. Thank you. I just wanted to reiterate what my colleague Rob was mentioning. We have every intention to rectify this situation. Life safety of our residents is of utmost importance. We faced a unfortunate and challenging issue, very frustrating issue. The property was in pretty deplorable condition from all aspects, including fire life safety, when the owners purchased it and we managed the property. As Rob was saying, Cox Fire has a kind of it's their systems, other vendors can't work on it. We rely on these fire vendors. We can't, unfortunately, do the work ourselves. And so we had reached out to Cox to get pricing and get the contract process going for all of these repairs. They were completely non-responsive to us. We called and called. They then later explained to us that they were going through some kind of merger, not that it's an excuse, with Pi Barker. And so we kept reaching out, trying to get to Pi Barker's contact information. We finally did as of maybe 2-3 weeks ago. Then Pi Barker said the original contracts that we assumed from Cox is now expired, it's lapsed, and we need to send you a new contract. So they send us a contract and it's incorrect, all of which we can't execute with a fire vendor, and we need a fire vendor to come out and do these deficiency repairs. So they finally fixed the contract. We executed it approximately 2-3 weeks ago. It's fully executed now. And so they're the company that can come out. They can complete all these deficiencies. We want them to do so as soon as humanly possible. We would have loved to get this done, months ago when we found out about it. We have been on fire watch. So we have an associate on property that walks the entire property. They monitor the entire complex so that if they notice a fire, they can immediately dispatch the fire department by calling it in. As Rob mentioned, we did distribute the 300 plus fire extinguishers to all the individual tenants. For the fire or the barbecue grills, we absolutely do not let those on property. It's sometimes a little bit tricky of a situation. If we notice it, we send a lease violation notice to the tenant. They have a certain number of days to either cure or we would move to an eviction. A lot of times what happens with the tenants is they'll put it inside their apartment, cure the lease violation notice, and then we have to start that lease violation notice over if we see it again. And it kind of goes in a circle with the tenants. But I just wanted to reiterate the contractual issues really held us up, and we wanted to go with Cox and Pi Barker because they have the longest kind of history with it and proprietary systems, which are the fire panels on the property.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Nope. Gotta continue.
I had a question for Ernie.
Okay. Ernie?
Quick question.
Go ahead.
Is there any way to, there's potentially eight violations here, and if we give them a 30-day, note or time to comply, is there any way, and let's say they can't, is there any way to like prioritize the violations in terms of, some of the violations are gonna take months, we've already heard that, right? Sprinklers are gonna take months. Is there some way to specify partial compliance, if we have a large, we give them a
Your deadline?
yeah, some kind of tiered deadline where if, I don't know, I mean, I'm just throwing it out there, because it seems like they're gonna come back and they're gonna ask, maybe they got something that we don't consider important or something that's way out, they're not gonna be in total compliance, but is there a way to say, okay, well, we're gonna grant you, an extension, but not for this particular, this violation. I don't know if
I think that's just going to be real
hard to
wieldy,
administer.
to try and monitor, but of course the priorities, I believe, just, Inspector Squires can, make the priorities for them. They should be working with him daily, or, as often as possible, and taking his direction.
Agreed.
Okay, yeah, I just
Yeah,
don't want to
I
have a
just- I
situation
think
where we keep giving them extensions, and then.
Well, I think
But
that,
they're not
and
getting
one would hope
they're
that
not getting the high
Inspector
priority
Squires
stuff.
will be here and will tell you whether they're,
progress.
making appropriate progress and whether the risks have been reduced. And then you'll make your determination at that time whether you're going to extend or not.
Okay, thanks.
Not a guarantee.
That's all I had.
Any other questions? Seeing none, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to move forward with my motion.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah. In case number 25-500072, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exist on the property located at 6900 Aruba Avenue. The violations are Section 8-56, subsection A, 8-57, subsection B, subsection 4, 8-57, subsection B, subsection 1, 8-57, subsection B, subsection 2, Section 8-57, subsection D, Section 8-56, Section 8-55, Section 8-55, subsection A, subsection 2. Did I get them all?
Yes, you did.
Okay. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the fire inspector, Cletus Squire, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move, nope, never mind, I was reading the wrong one, sorry. Sorry, I got the repeat violation somehow. Sorry, oh, all right. I further move that the said violations be corrected on or before December 10th, the date of our next meeting, 2025. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the total fine be $2,000 per day.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
If I can just interject, just to be clear, that is $250 per violation per day, which adds up to $2,000.
Beginning on December 10th, assuming, yes.
8 violations, $250 a day. Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. So your property has been found in violation. You have until December 10th to bring that property into compliance. If for some reason you cannot bring the property into compliance by December 10th, you are welcome to come back here to us and request an extension. There is no guarantee you will receive an extension, but you have every right to ask for one. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Good luck. Next case,
David.
25,
David, I call for 5 minutes break, please.
I'll give you 2.
Motion, I make.
No, you don't need a motion, just go.
Without motion.
Clock's ticking, go.
Do we have,
Okay. All right.
Next case, please, 25-2930.
Microphone.
Oh, yeah, that's the other one that's over here.
Case number 25-2930, City versus River Park Community Association Incorporated, for the property located at 7788 Rosewood Garden Loop. The deadline for compliance was today, midnight. Fine of $25 per day beginning November 13th, 2025. Violation, section 28.840E1. Community buffers, good repair. Deadline for compliance is midnight tonight.
Are the respondents here?
Yes.
Yeah, they haven't been sworn in.
One has. He has, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Does your partner plan on speaking?
No?
No, okay.
That's just the board president for the HOA.
Okay.
I just manage the community.
You manage, okay, but if he's, as long as he's not going to say anything, he doesn't have to be sworn in.
Okay.
Okay?
Fair enough.
Name and address.
My name is Neeraj Chandler, and then 7788 Rosewood Garden Loop for River Park HOA.
Okay, floor is yours, sir.
So last time we came, this is all about a perimeter fence. The current site plan is for almond PVC along two sides of the property, and then the other two sides are for Simtech composite fencing. There's an area on 78 along 78th that needs to get repaired. There are sections that need to get repaired. I think is included in this notice. We have that. I have invoices here where we've paid for it. We're just waiting on schedule for Florida State Fence, so that will be repaired in the next few weeks. The question that we've had is we've also had a pre-app meeting. Don't recall his name, but he was present for that meeting in September, I believe, at the end of September, that we talked about, because the issue is that along Temple Terrace Highway at the main entrance of the community, there originally was PVC, almond PVC fencing that got blown apart during the hurricanes last year. The issue is the board didn't want to use that same fence because it's not covered by their insurance, which was placed by the developer. Right, so we got new insurance. The insurance can cover other types of material, meaning aluminum, stone, things of that nature, but not almond PVC. So we were trying to look for alternatives. That pre-app meeting, which they were gracious enough to give us, we talked about what different possibilities there were. I guess to avoid going through a whole site plan modification process, we would have to put in a fence, I think it was communicated, that looks similar to almond PVC. Florida State Fence sent us an example, and I have pictures and I have emails with everything here, of what it will look like for powder-coated aluminum. It just, for what was communicated to us is we want to put an emphasis on consistency. So having a third type of fence around the community, it just doesn't make any sense if we put white fence in the front, white aluminum in the front, and have alumina and have a almond PVC on one side and Simtech on one side. Just it's not going to look right, and I'm sure we'll get a notice for that as well. But along the front, if it was the white powder coating, the problem is Florida State Fence has never seen almond colored coating. So that's our issue. We've reached out to the planning division to get further guidance on this, because we, like I said, we originally wanted to put in black aluminum because we do have a dog park that is right behind this fence, which is black aluminum. So we wanted to originally put that in. We were told that would not get approved, or that if we would have to put in the site plan modification, which then is another timeline. So that's where we're at right now. So as far as progress.
Let me see if I can condense all this. So where you're at right now is you have a contractor.
Yes.
You have tried to get almond-colored aluminum fence, can't do it. So now you're at the point of deciding what else you can do that you can remain consistent for the entirety of the property and not have three different kinds of fence.
Exactly.
Okay. Do you anticipate what's your timeline for getting those answers?
We set the communication out to planning to see if maybe we can have that conversation. We're just waiting on planning to let us know what they think. All we've gotten back is that they would prefer that we just put in the almond PVC at
You
the
say
front.
planning, that's our planning?
Yeah, planning division within Temple Terrace.
Jack?
Marissa Robinson is the name that we've been
Does
contacting.
the city have an issue with another 30 days?
No, not at this time. We are getting phone calls from the school next door, but I believe he's been in communication with you about that, so I think another 30 days wouldn't hurt.
Hey, go ahead.
Aside from maintenance, is there any reason why you just can't paint the black fence almond color?
No, but what we did was we sent the picture to planning to see if this is something that would get approved, because the fence, for Florida State Fence, did not believe that Temple Terrace would give us the permit
For the
white fence, for the white fence. So I can ask him again. I don't know what the difficulty is with painting it almond instead, or if we contract separately for a
color issue, or is it a material?
I think it's what's available. So he can get it he can get the powder coated, and it'll be they can order it as with that white, but that's the closest they can get to that almond, I guess, is what he tried to communicate to me.
So it's a color issue.
It's a color issue, because what they're basically saying, it has to be close to what was originally there for them to avoid going through the whole site plan modification process.
Any other questions? So in the back, you said, if you're going to speak, you're going to get sworn in.
Yeah, I will do that.
Okay. Well, stand up and get sworn in.
Please raise your right hand and answer after I swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will provide the board tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Come on up, state your name and address.
Hi, this is Saiful Islam. I'm the president of that community.
Address?
7763 Rosewood Garden Loop. Yeah. Thanks, all of you. So we had the fourth side of the fence, and our property manager mentioned that. So in the front side, we want to put a hurricane proof, like a strong fence, the aluminum fence. So we went back and forth, our management with the city. But so there is two issues. One of them is the material. So they will not allow us to put aluminum fence in the front. So the black or any color. And the second one is the color coded that we received. So there's a two issue on the material side and also the color wise. So and we try not to put the PVC fence because it's not going to be, it will be overburden for the whole community. And to address on the 78th Street that our management already mentioned is that is work in progress, and that's going to be hopefully resolved by within next 30 days, hopefully. And consider to the fence on the Florida College, so our initial plan was to work with the city and change the fence type. So according to our site plan, the fence materials we can put only either PVC or the Simtech. So as a resident, we want to change the fence type in the front and aluminum, and on the side, the Florida College, we want to put some kind of chain link fence that is already existing in different places including Florida College, and there is a property in front of them. So those kind of fence materials is already present in the Temple Terrace. So we try to contract with them with the site plan, but there is like, it seems like that plan will not be passed, okay? And so we have to go back for the Florida College, either Simtech, that is going to be more strong, and or PVC fence. So we got the quote from the Florida State Fence for the Simtech on the Florida College side. It will cost us more than $100K, and that fund, we don't have that. And so we will need a special assessment for that. If we go for the PVC on the Florida College, that will also need a lower budget. Hopefully, it's around like 1,800, more than around 2,000 feet length of fence. So it will cost us around $50K if we go with the PVC. So it will be like more for us, continuous effort for the repairing on the both front and the Florida College side.
Okay. So you're weighing your options, and I assume you're here tonight for an extension.
Yes.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll go, case number 25-2930. I move that we extend this case an additional 30 days to December 10th, 2025.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Motion second on the end. Any further comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Okay, so you've been given a 30-day extension. If the property is not brought into compliance by December 10th, you'll have to come back again to that night to explain to us why. And at that point, you can ask for another extension, although one is not guaranteed. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so now we're back to the first page, case number 25-2420.
Case number 25-2420, City versus 8727 Equity Group LLC, continued for the property located at 8727 Overlook Drive. This case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 10-4B1, nuisance, diminished value. This case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Danielle Batt. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and the notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening, I'm Officer Batt with Code Compliance. This case this evening was initiated by me on June 11th, 2025, as directed by past Code Director T. Baroni. The property was found in violation of the city's Code of Ordinance Section 10-4, subsection B1, for the overgrowth of grass and weeds, structure and dwelling in disrepair with broken windows, diminished paint, missing and or broken siding, and the accumulation of tree debris throughout the property, creating a public nuisance which diminishes the value of surrounding properties. On June 12th, 2025, a notice of violation was posted to the violation property requested posting to City Hall on the electronic board and sent both certified mail and regular mail to the address of record. On August 11th, 2025, contact was made with Marshall Reisman, the attorney for the registered agent, Michael Leaks, and per his request, an email was sent to him with photos for reference and advising if a permit was acquired of work, had started towards compliance by September 1st, 2025. I would be happy to work with them on the compliance date. A reinspection was done on September 11th, 2025, and the property remained in violation. A notice of hearing was posted on September 24th, 2025 to the subject property requesting posting to City Hall on the electronic board for the 10-day requirement and sent both certified mail and regular mail to the address of record. At the hearing of October 8th, 2025, the case was continued to tonight's hearing in hopes to see something towards compliance. As of my last inspection on Monday, November 10th, 2025, the property was not in compliance, nor has anything been done towards compliance either. Photos were entered into the record with the affidavit of non-compliance from Monday's reinspection. So at this time, I am seeking a ruling as this property continues to be a blight and safety concern for the community.
Tell me specifically why we continued this last time. I forget.
There was a question as to whether they needed was it a site plan that showed that the structure was not there?
They want to demo the property. The problem is they had the issue between the site plan holding a photo of the current structure on the property and not. It was a confusion on that aspect.
I still don't get it.
Dallas, the issue is they have not done an asbestos or lead-based paint survey of the structure. That has to be submitted to the city prior to the demolition permit being issued. They have yet to submit one.
So it has nothing to do with the building.
Site or
the
no,
building disappearing.
actually, the police department, the fire department, everybody's codes asked to get this place torn down for over a year. And they submitted an application. We went back with, we need this report. The report has not been provided.
They're aware of this.
Yes. The owner of the property was here at the last meeting.
But when he was here last time, he said he couldn't do it, couldn't tear it down because it would change the site plan.
there's a plan to put condominiums or townhomes on that site.
Yeah.
The demolition shouldn't hold that process up, that I know of. I can check with zoning to check to be sure, but it shouldn't.
I think
Regardless of what goes on, the house has to come down.
that's what I think, I remember that's what we talked about. It was a zoning thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was, my recollection was that, and Ernie, correct me if I'm wrong, but he can't tear the house down because it would change the site plan. And then he would have to come back in front of council and get a new site plan approved.
You'd have to get a rezone.
As far as I know to date, the site plan for that project has not been approved by council yet, anyway.
The only thing I'll say is, that's what he said the problem was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, but
get
yeah,
that.
that's kind of what, the way I recall him saying what the problem was. I think we all were a little confused by that.
Right, that's why we continued it. But, but Dallas, you're saying that it's really the lack of a specialist report.
Correct. Especially that survey is the only thing holding up the issuance of a demolition permit.
Okay. Yes, sir.
The guy is not here tonight?
He's not here tonight, no.
You see him?
No, I'm saying, did he communicate with you? That's what I meant.
Between today, last month's meeting now, no. Haven't heard from him.
Nothing, you did not hear anything from him?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do it.
Okay.
You wanna do it?
No, you can do it.
In case number 25-2420, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exist on the property located at 8727 Overlook Drive, with the applicable code violation, section 10-4, subsection B, subsection 1. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from code enforcement officer, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and a notice of violation of which received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that the said violation be corrected on or before December 10th, 2025. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each day the violation continue past the date set for compliance upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, any previous violation committed by the violator. I move that the fine be $50 per day.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Next case, please. So I think we have two more. So 25-3709.
Case number 25-3709, City versus Retz and Von Hoff for the property located at 423 South River Hills Drive. This case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 8-102-13K, MH, hardware screens, Section 10-3B, sanitation grass weeds, Section 10-34, sanitation premises clean, and Section 12-860, in-ops, outdoor storage equipment. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Danielle Batt. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and the notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Officer Batt with Code Compliance. This case this evening was initiated by me on September 19th, 2025 in violation of the city's code of ordinance with courtesy door hangers allowing time to correct prior to further enforcement. The code sections 8-102 subsection 13K for the keeping and or maintaining of windows to the outside without required window screens, 10-3B for the overgrowth of grass and weeds exceeding 12 inches in height, 10-34 for the accumulation of trash and debris throughout the property, and 12-860 for the keeping and or storage of an inoperable white Acura Integra two-door car with expired tag 3288XG, expiring 1025 and flat tires. On September 26, 2025, upon reinspection, the violation continued, so a notice of violation was created with a compliance date of October 11, 2025, and posted to the subject property, requested posting to City Hall on the electronic board, and sent both certified mail and regular mail to the address of record. Upon reinspection on October 13, 2025, the violation continued, so notice of hearing was created, and on October 29, 2025, when posted to the subject property, requested posted to City Hall on the electronic board for the 10-day requirement, and sent both certified mail and regular mail to the address of record. As of my last inspection, Monday, November 10th, 2025, the property was still in violation. At this time, I would like to submit evidence for case number 25-3709, supporting the case and asking for a ruling.
We'll accept those. Thank you. Any questions for the officer? Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, so, there's 4 violations here, or code section violations, so all 4 are still out of compliance?
Yes, sir.
So okay, even the car?
Mm-hmm. Exhibit A, the photos of the inspection on September 26, 2025 for issuance of notice of violation. Exhibit B are going to be the photos of inspection on October 13th, 2025 for issuance of notice of hearing. And Exhibit C, photos of inspection this past Monday, November 10th, 2025 prior to today's hearing. All those photos will support those.
The car under the tarp, you can't.
I can't legally lift the back end of it.
Right.
I can't change it to
If the
speak to
accident
it.
was covered,
It could be any car covered. It could be legal. It could not be legal unless it's showing me within view.
Right, because it's behind another inoperable car.
But it doesn't mean it's not inoperable.
Right. That's kind of the trick we've had,
So,
that they can get around it.
just for my education, what does the MH mean?
Minimum housing.
Excuse me?
Minimum housing.
Minimum housing, okay. Thank you. Any other questions?
I just was gonna ask, have you any contact with the owner?
Not at all.
She is,
Mm-mm.
okay.
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
All right, I'll do this one.
Thank you.
So, case number 25-3709. I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exist on the property located at 423 South River Hills Drive. Violations are section 8-102, subsection 13, subsection K, 10-3, subsection B, 10-34, and 12-860. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Danielle Batt, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violations be corrected on or before December 10th, 2025. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violations continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violations, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violations, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $50 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Next case, please. 23-3736.
Case number 25-3736, City versus Milton Vernon, for the property located at 5417 Rainbow Drive. This case is before the board based on an alleged violation of section 12-922A, parking commercial vehicle in residential. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Director Danielle Batt. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and the notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Officer Batt with Code Compliance. This case this evening was initiated by me on September 22nd, 2025, in violation of City Code Ordinance. The code section is 12-922, subsection A, for the parking and or storage of a commercial vehicle, semi-truck, on residentially zoned property which is prohibited. A notice of violation with the compliance date of September 30th, 2025 was posted to the property, requested posting to City Hall on the electronic board, and sent both certified mail and regular mail to the address of record. A reinspection was done on September 29th, 2025, and seeing as it was the day prior to the compliance date, I went ahead and rescheduled for reinspection. A reinspection was done on October 23rd, 2025, finding the violation continues, so a notice of hearing was posted to the subject property, requested posting in the City Hall on the electronic board for the 10-day requirement, and sent both certified mail and regular mail to the address of record. As of one of my last inspections, on Monday, November 10th, 2025, the property was in compliance. As of November 11th, as Director Jack Shanks has a photo of, it actually was not. At this time, I would like to submit evidence for case number 25-3736, supporting the case and asking a finding of fact, so I may close upon receiving a copy of the official order. The issue with it is the simple fact of the truck had disappeared the day on the 10th, and then truck reappeared the next morning. So there is a affidavit of compliance put in there, but obviously the next day it had reappeared. It's a case where the truck can come and go.
Okay, so is it currently in compliance or out of compliance?
As of yesterday morning, it was not. The day before.
As of this morning, it was still there.
Okay.
So as of right now, it's not in compliance.
Correct.
Okay,
I wanted to ask it.
go ahead.
If you don't mind. Is that because you issued a compliance certificate, would that be a repeated violation?
Not because it was actually,
Did not
the
be-
affidavit of compliance was, yes, issued. But in order for it to be a repeat, it would have to be a different case number.
It has to come.
To
in
show
front
it as
of
a-
us
yeah.
And then,
So it would be a matter of I need a finding of fact so I could turn around and basically reissue another notice of hearing directly because
You gotta find
notice
a
of hearing's already been done.
Yes, okay. Yeah.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
You wanna do it?
Where's the case? In case number 25-3736, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 5417 Rainbow Drive with applicable code violations, section 12-922 subsection A. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and a notice of violation, all of which received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that the said violation be corrected on or before December 10th, 2025. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each day and each and every day the violation continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and second, any further discussion?
Before you vote, can I ask the director a question?
Sure.
No, only turned in the clerk. I don't know if she's issued it or not.
Did you issue that affidavit of compliance? Meaning mail it out to the property owner?
I am not aware that it was actually issued to the property owner.
All right, then, go ahead.
Proceed.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no nays, motion carries. Okay, that completes all the new business, on to unfinished.
Case number 25-2526, City versus Dorothy M. Carter, trustee, for the property located at 400 Ridgedale Road. The deadline for compliance was extended until November 12, 2025, fine of $25 per day beginning November 13th, 2025. Violations, Section 8-102, 13B, MH, exterior walls. Deadline for compliance is midnight tonight.
Two 841. Oh, we did that one, never mind.
We're at 364.
Yeah, we already did that one. 660, yeah.
Case number 25-3664, City versus Anand Salvahari for the property located at 7908 Terrace Ridge Drive. The deadline for compliance was December 10th, 2025, fine of $25 per day beginning December 11th, 2025, and a lump sum of $1,600. The violation, Section 12-763, tree removal penalty, and Section 12-771, tree trimming invasive trees. Affidavit of compliance was received November 3rd, 2025. Case number 25-3673, City versus 7608 North Sanibel Circle, LLC, for the property located at 7608 North Sanibel Circle. The deadline for compliance was December 10th, 2025, fine of $25 per day beginning December 11th, 2025, and lump sum of $100. Violation, Section 12-763, tree removal penalty, and Section 12-768, tree removal regulations. The deadline for the compliance is December 11th, 2025.
Very good, thank you. Is there any other board action? Any liens report? No liens report. Any new business? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. See you next month.